it's just a case of how many points they're going to find out. 16 so far. The Panzer's going to find one at least, as Mars says he went for the big play to secure more of a spot. Blazer's going to get a second, and all of a sudden, the door that was just a sliver open might just have been kicked off its hinges. Now, Enzito will try to go for the res, but that nade should be able to secure the point, and it does, and suddenly, it's a 2v1v1. What it takes thinking.
Right up into the face of the injected, and a little bit of this hillside cliff that drops down over into the center and the west of what we're watching. K-Mine, though, stays being K-Mine. Gets the knock onto one, gets the flush. He has an idea where the last one is, but
now K-Mine should know exactly where his stun grenade is thrown. Lippy spots him out, but K-Mine's better. He gets that extra point. 12 kills for pest control, and 6 for K-Mine as they move to 20 on the night, but right into the mixer.
This has gotten really crazy because Solos have big influence on what could happen next. Comp also just trying to make sure that he keeps influence against no way around. Good spray back into the smoke. Just got to keep himself into a good spot right now. Doesn't like the blue zone, so going to retreat it.
Yeah, now he's going to try to drive around the corner, and there's no Panzer here, so BRDM's going to take some damage. He's going... Oh, he missed it to pick a target. Conf, you got a little too greedy. He hops out, gets the knock, and now DNL is the last player standing in. DNL, I don't like the position you find yourself in now, my friend. You've got to keep your eye on the door, wait for Conf to jump on out, maybe even go for a heist, but Conf, you are dancing with death here. DNL dodges it once more, the BRDM on the move, but
Conf just can't take the bait. He just has to keep being a distraction over here until the friends show up, and that's exactly what happens there. Hot and Spicy manages to pick it up. Now Pest Control can focus back into Fong Tune itself, but Wit has a problem close, and AK...
Footsteps will be heard. You can see that there is a Vector in play as well. On the other side, from what it takes, and Hot and Spicy finds that knock on the Fisher. 1v1v2. Make it a 1v2. Varus on the high ground here, Matt. What it takes with all the numbers and the level 3 gear. What a good knock from Varus, and it's a 1v1.
He didn't hear the footsteps on angle, peeks through the smokes, what it takes, hits the shots back up into a crazy urban ending to finish this one out.
X10, Athletes of Christ, all lead to path their way down. Conf gets a great spray on the Blazer, last breath. Are going to get the lead in his Conf, it's another. What brilliant shots from the Star.
3-1s. Instead, they just hop in a vehicle. Looks like they're just going to send it down. They're just going to run right into the face of AKA, but Dark Castle with some great shots. Gets the knock on the Bizzler, sends him flying. Gaslit with counter shots. Doesn't have enough. He has to stop as he slides down. Rent-free down to just one. Might have Lopes. He's already spotted. Nade's going to come out. Carthur, Cooper bites a cover, but as he retreats, the curve for the nade is perfect. Second, no way down. Lost 2 in a second.
Oh, once again, just the Athletes of Christ converting the whole lobby to the good word of 556. As Fana will step up once more. That's another knock, as no way see 3 players fall. Now Gladiators wiped out as Tony does it. That is clean. 15 and the potential of 3 more. You've got control of the high ground. You know exactly where what it takes are. Athletes of Christ. Welcome to Saturday night here on the PUBG Battlegrounds channel again, which could only mean one thing. It is Gibson and Poro to take you through the final Cup Poro of the first stage of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it started months ago, and in fact, it only started a month ago. But the weeks of hard work for these guys, the scrims, the grinding, the weekly finals, it all comes down to this, to see who will get to book their passage to the PAS playoffs.
It's going to be a fun one, that's for sure, to see which teams can then maybe make it through and qualify for the upcoming PGS as well. Of course, you're having a wonderful time covering them at the minute. And Poro, I suppose for anyone who missed the action today, anything about tomorrow's final day of PGS that people should be excited for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's probably about 5 teams maybe that have a shot at coming home with first place. So yeah, if you're up and awake at that time of day, then definitely make sure to check that out. If not, you can go check out the VOD. I won't be mad at you.
He will. He's lying. He'll be very upset.
I would never be mad at you.
let's go through the format anyway. This, of course, is the final week, so we're currently in week 5, and the team that wins this week will secure a spot in the first week of playoffs. So, Poro, we'll kind of talk through it over the course of tonight, but basically, there's essentially 21 spots up for grabs inside the playoffs, plus the 8 partner teams, and whoever wins tonight will book a instant spot through to the first day of those playoffs.
Yeah, and you know, it can be a little confusing and complicated. I trust us, it'll make sense at the end. We'll show it all to you, break it all down. Where you want to be is in that top 20, top 21 to make sure that you have a shot at the playoffs. And then beyond that, it's just a question of how many days you'll get, how many opportunities you'll get to make it to those PAS grand finals. So we'll break it down as the day goes on, but you can see the prize pool there for all these teams. We don't want them playing for nothing but those playoff spots. We want them to have a little bit of cash on the line, and there's your overall leaderboard, and you can see the cut line down there at 20 with Train to Go currently.
Yeah, 22 points is not a lot. So for some teams, there's teams playing their first week today, and if they get a good performance, they'll get in. And kind of the best way to explain how things go is ignoring the two teams that were the team that won last week and the team that wins the cup this week. The top 6 teams will get a chance to compete in day 1 of the playoffs, and it'll be the top 2 or the next set. Basically, the way it works, Poro, if I'm not wrong, is the better you do in cups, the more playoff days you get, which increases your chances of making it to the finals.
Exactly. And right now, we've only gotten one team that have booked their passage to those playoffs, and it's going to be Athletes of Christ. I'm sure that's a surprise to absolutely nobody. They have been so dominant. I think they've won every week but one at this point. They came in, they didn't win week number 2, but every other week it just seems like it's the Athletes of Christ show, man. These guys have got this whole team figured out. The comms are there, the mechanics are there, everything's clicking.
Yeah, they've been playing really well, and we kind of seen the same from them in the cups last year. Obviously, Kawazin's moved on. They brought in Haven. Haven's been a phenomenal addition to the team, but there's a couple of other teams that have really impressed me. You know, you got to look at the likes of Rent Free last week. They came in with a really strong week. We've seen really good play from the likes of Duel and the New Gen All-Stars. But I think what it takes, you got to give them a special mention, right? Because since they've come in, they're the only real team that's won on the night other than the Athletes of Christ. And again, it's a team of players that we know. We've seen some up-and-comers, but they seem to have something figured out over the last few weeks.
Yeah, no, they definitely, I mean, just that one fact, the fact that they were able to be a winner, a weekly winner over Athletes of Christ is pretty impressive. And like you said, they missed that first week. So only a small handful of teams have been able to kind of make their impact and kind of do it by making every single week. When you look at that top 7, everybody there has played every week with the exception of What It Takes and then Team Fate.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose Team Fate currently sitting in one of the spots that would get them through to day 1 of the playoffs, but they're in a lot of trouble tonight, Poro, right? Because the chances are one of those teams that are 20-30 points behind them, if they have a good night, they will see themselves slip into day 2 of the playoffs and essentially reducing your chances of qualifying to the finals by 30%.
Yeah, no, it's they're definitely going to be sweating it out, and it's really I don't even think it's going to be, well, no, you know, looking at the points total, like they have a 28 point lead on Tempest. Tempest didn't make it, so No Way is right there with a 29 points behind. So you know, they're definitely going to be sweating it out for sure. One would hope that they've kind of done enough work to make it into that top spot, but I think it really all kind of comes down to what Athletes of Christ does today. Like, are they going to have another one of these days where they just soak up all the points and kind of keep other teams from getting points that they need to make a climb, or will they just kind of go out there and have fun and other teams might be able to step up? It really feels like Athletes of Christ, while they're at the king spot, they are also king makers here.
Yeah, I think when you look at the table and you look at like Athletes of Christ, New Gen All Stars, and What It Takes, they've got in their hands how they want the finals lobby to look at. Like, they can basically say, we don't want this team to get into day 2 or day 3. We can stop this team from having a great day. Like, it is all down to them. And of course, it is worth clarifying that if Athletes of Christ do win this week, the team that comes second this week will get the automatic playoff spot for day 1. So keep that in mind too. It is 5 maps, as is the format all year round. And again, Poro, as we've seen at PGS and as we've seen at the Cups, it really does mean that those cutoffs are so much lower than what it seemed like when we were on 6 map rotations.
Yeah, and well, the cutoffs, especially just because of the fact that you get these teams like Athletes of Christ or Pest Control or New Gen that are coming in here and they're soaking up so many of the points. So it's just not leaving a lot left on the plate for these other teams that are trying to make a run. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. So I mean, Pest Control, New Gen All Stars, what it takes. I think their spot where in the top there is pretty secure, so they can also kind of be in that same spot as Athletes of Christ, where they can determine who gets to make it. And right off the bat, we're heading into game for match number 1. Let's see how these top teams react.
Yeah, so getting stuck into it here on Erangel for game number 1 of the night. Flight path going from Sosnovka Island, making its way up to Severny, right through the edge of school. And with that being the case, it means that all these teams should be able to get to where they want to. Looks like NA are going to drop off and make their way towards Pachinki, but I spot a little bit of a potential hot drop here, Paro, on Millie Island.
Yeah, what's going on down there? It's, who is that? We got What It Takes, and then I'm not sure who our team in red is. Their name tag's been kind of hidden, and they're going to hot drop right on top of C Block, and already, there you go, Sneak Attack going to get taken down by a little P, and Morns as well. So right off the bat, What It Takes running into Dream 1, and Dream 1 is coming out ahead.
Yeah, Dream 1 getting a little bit of momentum going early on in the day as they get a couple knocks, but with What It Takes still holding that other apartment building, it means it'll still be difficult to win this fight. In essence, it can be very hard in these positions. Now, the benefit is if you do lose 1 or 2 players, there is always the opportunity to bring your teams back with the recall stations. But I like this, right? Dream 1, they're still looting, but they're also closing the gap towards that apartment building, more importantly as well.
It's big to get the res there on a Sneak Attack, and he's already got a gun as well, so he can try to retreat. That grenade, ambitious, didn't hit the wall where it needed to, but this is going to slow things down for sure. Now, while this is all happening, the circle did pop, and it's going to center up on where is that centering? Oh, it's centering up on Mansion. So regardless, these guys are going to be outside of zone. So it's a question now, how long do you want to take with this? Do you want to stick around and try to fight? It looks like Dream 1 definitely wants the scrap, while What It Takes is just trying to reset up, probably trying to find meds.
Oh, 100%, right? You want to get the points on the board. Remember, this is one of the teams that are trying to get into day 2 of the playoffs as opposed to day 3. So get the points. A good game, a good map on the start of the day will put you in such a good spot going forward. But Lippy, as you can see, he's just doing some scouting, playing close on the edge of the building, trying to garner where the rest of What It Takes are, who have, by the way, cutting all 4 players back up. Like, Oro, I don't think they should have got away with that.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that they were able to, right? Like, as soon as you get those double knocks, you got to throw all caution to the wind and make the push. I mean, you know you're in a 4v2 situation if you just kind of death ball and push in. But that's the problem of fighting around spots like this. I mean, you've got the verticality and all the different rooms here on that C block. It's really just to have the guts to make that push and to make that call and go for it is tough. And you also don't want to take the risk of losing anybody when you know you've got them down low. But as a result, they're turning things around, and they've taken so long now that What It Takes is able to get heals. Not only that they got their men back up, but they've got them back to full health, and they're looted. So this is a completely different fight than what they were looking at the beginning.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think that the longer both these teams stay there, I think staying there that long is not going to cause too many problems, Paro, because nobody's really holding the western bridge, so they've got that avenue of exit. There is the chance that maybe somebody like Duel could hold the eastern bridge because they're on this Millie Island as well, which is definitely something to keep an eye on. But while this is going on, Paro, not much else has happened around the rest of the map. The circle, of course, did pop, and those kind of shelter fields seem to be in and around the heart of the circle as you head over towards Mansion. So most of the other teams are just getting their positions in the early stages.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if we have any other teams that are maybe doing any camping or just really late rotates. Looking at HP, they're kind of taking their time in South George. Pest Control taking their time. I think they're perfectly content to slowly make their way in. Duel, also, I mean, it feels like Duel took their time, but they're already coming in. But yeah, this fight between One and What It Takes, I feel like both of these teams are just kind of hard committed to this at this point because it's taken so long. You can't really disengage. There's not that many vehicles around there either. Like, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting shout to see what they decide to do. If one team does decide to break away or break off, how are they going to go about doing it? Because it's going to be tough.
Well, What It Takes, they've got the benefit of already being guaranteed top 6, so they can hold out the Stream 1 fight as long as they want to, right? So I think that's one of the benefits of having such good performances. But for Dream 1, is the 3-4 points now supersede or more valuable than the potential to get more points later on in the game if you do find yourself rotating really, really late? And it's like, based on what we can see, Paul, nobody's given any ground. Nobody's made any form of a push. Like, they're in the exact same spots they were in maybe 2 to 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, they're really kind of just. I don't want to say what I think they're doing, but yeah, they're definitely being cautious. Let's say that, and it might end up ruining both of their chances here if they're not careful. So, I mean, at this point, like, you're this far committed, you have to stick around. You have to fight this out. And you have to kind of hope that you come out ahead, because otherwise this is just going to be a waste. As Dream 1 already pushing in with that Panzer, but they're not going to find anything right off the bat. That's a hard push into the micro Uzi, and Zito was ready for it.
Yeah, looking at, they had the fishing reel out. They caught one. Potential now for another one is Crizzen, though. We'll find that knock, but it's a 2 versus 3. The whole thing has changed. Remember, earlier on in this gunfight, it was Dream 1 who had the 2-player advantage. XH is the all other side of this apartment complex. Stun grenade is thrown. Crizzen's going to drop the gun, but he's going to get cleared by Morns. And well, it's all down to XH now as all the hard work's been done. But Barrow, what a fantastic bit of fishing that was by What It Takes. You had the player on the stairs playing for the bait, but the cover. The real problem was the players down the hallway watching the run-in through the door.
Yeah, no, that's it was always going to be a tough push, but I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do. I think they deathballed up and just, dared them. Said, you know what, you want to fight us, so you're going to have to fight all of us at the same time. So kudos to them. Really well played. Unfortunately for Dream 1, they either just didn't have the utility or couldn't find a way to get utility in there to punish What It Takes for being in that death ball. So in the end, they managed to keep in this. It will be interesting to see if XH sticks around and maybe goes for these blue chips and tries to bring them back. But I mean, even if you do, where do they go? I mean, this has been a very long time commitment.
Yeah, I think if I'm him, I'm hanging about, right? Wait to see what happens. Keep an eye to see if What It Takes pick up those blue chips, and if they don't, you got to get your team back, man. Like, it's really hard to salvage a few points. I know we saw Cowboy do a great salvage job. I think it was it Thursday on this exact same map? We saw him get a couple of extra points for Team Liquid and then flattening a few people with a BRDM. But get your team back, because getting extra points is really, really hard as a solo.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. It's like you can survive, but then your points are coming from placement, right? And that's never how you want to be trying to climb a leaderboard. That's just trying to tread water. As we see Duel, scrap here with AFI over in Lipovka, looking to see if anybody else is looking over in this direction, but it looks like Duel's just going to come out right on top of it. As AFI, they're pushing in. Wooly has that high ground to work with, and now he's starting to get some support. Good spray from him. Will take down Ghost.
Yeah, didn't even need the support, but it's put the really tough spot here for the players on Infinity. Iro will get caught out by Mizbo. He peeks through, and the fire on the door will hold him, but he's inside the bathroom. Another good molly thrown, and Mizbo should be not long left for this world, and that's exactly what happens. Infinity deleted. What a good job by Wooly, though. That's how you play the high ground.
No, that was really nicely played there, and Wooly honestly just making sure that he didn't take a knock there. Like him being up on top of that roof really just forced AFI into bad positions. And Duel does take a knock onto Iroh, but it didn't. He didn't get knocked in a place where he could get flushed out easily. So they managed to keep everybody up. They have Lipovka. They have pretty much their choice of where they want to play from this point on as the new circle does pop, and they're still inside. This is man, I haven't seen a circle like this in a while, Gibson. Just still centering up just south of where Mansion is, and nobody really playing inside of Mansion yet.
Yeah, it's been a minute is right. I think that Free Rent might be the closest possible team to Mansion. You look elsewhere, it looks like the Athletes of Christ, they've got a 2-2 split with two of the players playing in and around Prison. I think that you got FN not too far away as well. They're in and around that spot, but it's not as busy inside the circles I thought it would be. But I'm looking elsewhere. Look, one hasn't picked up his teams. I just checked. He's abandoned them. He's crossed that western bridge. He's going to be playing as a solo for the rest of this one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the risk you take, I guess. I mean, you stick around for that long, and well, what it takes, they've managed to get at least Enzito inside the zone, and he can let the rest of the boys know that eastern bridge is free and clear. As you see, Athletes of Christ, they're going to take an L there as Haven gets spotted out, and they are playing over just off the western edge of Prison. I think that might have been Haven just kind of checking out this Hall of Fame area to see if anybody was here, and they found them.
Yeah. Look, I think that New Gen All-Stars, they're going to play aggressively. They take a good drop spot inside of Pachinki on this map, with obviously the Falcons not being here, and they've extended out. Look, this is a really good spot to hold. I think it's harder to kind of crash this building than it would be in the old school way of playing PUBG, so I think they find themselves in a really good spot. I think
Whoa.
It looks like, oh my god, that's a big nade, but it's just 2 points away, Poro, from taking down Arv.
Okay, last breath. Need to rally the troops here. Pest control still kind of running around. It doesn't look like anybody's shooting them in the backs either, so they've got all the time in the world to decide how they want to approach this fight. The vehicle's still there, playing around in the woods. Looks like last breath's going to go ahead and retreat, and that's probably the better play, and that might have had something to do with the fact that they've got OP off there to the north, making their way into that compound, so that they're still kind of hovering around there as well, overpowered, just deciding how they want to play this.
Yeah, and overpowered, and one of those teams that are coming in today with a lot of work to do if they want to make it in. I think, what do we say, Poro? 22 points is the current cutoff spot with that team not actively playing on the night, so you need at least 22 points over 5 maps, which, as we've seen in PGS, is very, very difficult to do. A lot harder than you might have expected it to be if you want to make it to PAS. So by not qualifying until tonight, you've left yourself a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, fortunately, like the cut line just to make it to the playoffs, it's not completely unattainable, right? But even, making the playoffs, that's fantastic. But then you're going to be, if you're coming in towards the bottom half there, you're looking at one day, one chance to make it into the grand final. So everybody wants to try to give themselves as many opportunities as they can to make sure that they make that grand final and give themselves the best opportunity of trying to place high as the new circle does pop. And again, it's going to hover just south of Mansion. And again, nobody taking that Mansion spot yet. Nothing around there has been taken. I think there's, you look at those open fields to the south of Mansion, there's a lot of playable area around there, but nobody wants to take it super early because then you take that risk of just being mortar bait.
Yeah, and then there's the problem too of, like, you're that late into the game, you're going to make the assumption that Mansion is being played, and I think now definitely teams will phase towards there with that shift that we've gotten. But I think the only thing that maybe detracts from Mansion, Poro, was the fact that it's not that hard to breach from the north if you're pushing in from that little forest, because
it's hard to defend for sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely not the most ideal place to play, but it's something. It's at least a little bit of hard cover here as we see I Am Bolivia trying to take shots and figure out where they're going to make this next push out once they leave Yasnaya. I'm not sure who they spotted out there. And Last Breath also kind of in the same boat where they're just kind of hovering around on the periphery trying to decide where to play next. I mean, look, this is what we're talking about. These fields, they have lots of valleys and ridges that you can kind of play around, but it's just very dangerous to take too early.
Yeah, now we were seeing Duel as well. They're making the move. It looks like Penta, Keen, and will rejoin alongside Iro and Wooly. You've got also the fact that FN, I think part of where Mapstream might be a little bit ahead.
A little bit, yeah. I found that out the hard way. That's my bad. Yeah. But I figured it out now, and I'm not gonna lean on that too much here. As we see Overpowered trying to defend against the push from X10. They're gonna get close, but Kalnix is gonna get absolutely ripped to shreds. Overpowered doing their best to defend their area, and they will do another one. Make sure you get that point. Yes, you need them, as every point will be so important. They get one stolen away, as you see the rest of X10 still trying to figure out what to do now that they are down to, I believe, just a duo.
Yeah, and that X10, that's not a good spot to be in, but Overpowered, they've got the opportunity now to get back in and rejoin the rest of their teams on the edge of that circle, but they're being held by pest control, Paro. So that's worth keeping an eye on, as Penry is going to get caught out by what it takes after they picked up a few points earlier, and they're arriving to a prison, or they will be arriving to a prison, I'm sorry for spoilers again, that looks pretty clear on that southern side.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. Okay, Caution now falling into the eyes of New Gen All-Stars, playing from the west, a little bit spread out. They've got a couple guys still up in heaven, but you can see this is that aggression that New Gen All-Stars plays with, because they have that confidence to feel like they can just run out in the middle of these fields and just put themselves in position. And 2 grenades in the hand of Balefrost. He's just going to open up with the mini shots, though. Man, I feel like if he can get a little bit closer, those grenades might do some devastating damage here to Caution.
Conf stepping out, and man, Conf has just been nuts this last while. Like, we saw the highlight show at the start of the day. He's put in the work. Now hot and spicy will fall. Conf will drop that nade in, but you know that he's in the corner, and well, why not have Conf pick up most of those kills and clean them out himself? Pest control will wipe out OP, and that clears out the north for them. Dropped it away, and Mansion's still clear, but Poro, look over towards the west. You've got, free rent free. You've got Maiden Bolivia. You've got NA, and you've got Caution, all trying to work their way in, as No Ways DNL will do a little bit of damage on the way past, but will he be able to confirm that kill out?
Yeah, this is going to be tough over here on the west, and you see New Gen All-Stars starting to finally focus down here onto Caution, but Caution not going down without a fight. There you go. Finally, the good grenade will be enough to take them out. See if we can get the res onto Finna, but as he said, Maiden Bolivia was kind of hovering around there. Rent Free hovering around there, but as you see, Rent Free kind of driving past there in the distance, so this might be a good time, good news, and an ability to reset here for New Gen All-Stars.
X10 coming under fire now from Penta. He's going to toss that nade up there, as Finna will get cleaned out, as Bragagnolo will find one, but Penta needs to just drop that nade a little bit further away. Franks does a little bit of damage onto Kane here, but that's a really good nade. Kane will fall. Iro trades it back instantly as he pulls off a wonderful flank on that side, and now it's looking really bad for X10. They get wiped out, and it's 6 kills now for Duel.
6 kills for Duel, and only taking the 1 knock, and they need to get him back on his feet too, because you have to worry about the possibility of getting third party there on that northern side. If somebody sees those smokes and saw that kill feed light up, they might get involved, but Tyson will get the knock on the Viri, as I am Bolivia trying to find anywhere to play. I think Tyson maybe caught Viri out, as the rest of Viri squad playing around Mansion. Viri maybe trying to go a little bit deeper than the rest of the team was expecting.
Yeah, good news, by the way, Poro. The map feed is now in sync, so you can confidently make calls to the map stream without releasing any spoilers. But Badger from Rent Free, he'll manage to find himself another kill on the board. It was good to see, I suppose, a couple more OGs of the NA scene. I know that Badger technically is from the UK, but it's another team full of players and faces that we would know very well, with Jam, Bizzler, Badger, and Gats. But they've got a tough rotate into the circle. They're just trying to hold out NA at the minute.
Yeah, it's an interesting play, right? Like they're right on the edge. They're not completely inside the zone yet, but they know that they have New Gen All-Stars kind of pinned in a tough position. And yeah, you see Iga just alive by the grace of the Dorito here as he'll whip out that M24, tries to find something. But, you know, all in all, New Gen All-Stars, they're not too terribly worried. Like they are going in to the playoffs, and they're probably going to be playing on day one when this is all said and done. But you know, one thing I've been noticing, Gibson, we haven't really talked about it too much. Athletes of Christ, they're still in it. They're always still in it. Like they never die. They're coming in. I think they've still got 3 up too. Yeah, they only lost Haven, and they're playing from that south side as Iga. This is really just desperation at this point for him, isn't it?
Yeah, but to be honest, I think for Tyson, it's a 0-point game by the looks of it, and giving maybe can he steal that one away? DNL gets the knock on the Jam. There's a down player right there. It's your teammate. Can you get him? Can you get over and give yourself a chance while you see rent free? Go for those reses and try to get people back up. It's an interesting spot they find themselves in right now. Now Horseplay.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Rent Free maybe just weren't aware that Horseplay was over here, because they were just, you know, like we said, we're playing really cavalier on the outskirts of the western side of that zone, and looks like they might finally take them down. Yes, they do. Honey Badger will be the one that gets them, as we see Athletes of Christ trying to fight their way in from this south side. They do have NW in the trenches just ahead of them, so they have to be careful about how they push this. But look at this. They're, again, perfect place to just kind of third party and capitalize on whenever Last Breath has to do whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah, what it takes though, they've got to make that move, and I think that it's a strange rotation they've got, right? It's not as busy on that side, but if they can get themselves close to the trenches, they might find themselves in a good spot. They'll be in that fight with no way, but we're still keeping an eye on I Am Bolivia. It looks like I Am Bad will spray it off, but yeah, this push into the trench has been tough. Gladiator putting in a lot of work here.
Oh, yeah, this is tough. What it takes coming in from that eastern side, and No Way just kind of finding themselves pinched a little bit, because Athletes of Christ, they've got to come in at some point here as well, but they're just biding their time, waiting. FN also from a distance, just kind of third partying all of this. You see them getting the knock on What It Takes. There you go. Athletes of Christ finally striking at the perfect time, and Zito will go down, and now Morn's the last player left alive, hiding in the smokes.
Yeah, this is a tough one, but it's almost inevitable that Athletes of Christ are always going to have a say when we get into these top 8s. He gets thrown up over the high ground. Slabby does a lot of damage onto LFP, forcing him back into cover, but he does get that confirmation. Yeah, Morns, this is looking pretty bad. He's somehow dodged around, but here come Duel.
Oh, Duel had to go somewhere, didn't they? And I have lost my feet altogether, so I'm gonna have to rely on you for this one, Gibson. Go ahead.
Oh wow, I just muted myself so I could cough because I got this flu, but I guess okay, I can keep it going.
Sorry about that.
Gladiator. Gladiator will find that knock onto Danny, playing inside the trenches. The nade, oh my word, he just ate that nade. That one went right down the digestive tract, is 4-0. Still find themselves in a great position inside this circle.
Oh, this is perfect for 4-0. I'm back. I got it this time. Yeah, they have the only hard cover compound really, and they're not involved in all of this, which is a good step in the right direction if you throw 4-0. So see, Morans will get taken down. So that'll be What It Takes going down. We'll see if Duel can actually get Iron. No, they won't get him. So the long range shots actually get him low enough to where he goes over 2 Morans. But Last Breath still off in the distance there.
Mm-hmm. You know what the crazy thing is? You know what 4-0 got that compound for?
Nothing?
Exactly. Like, they've had no pressure that way. Oh my god, Fana manages to get that headshot onto Kamba. Gets the kill confirmed pretty quickly as well. And I Am Bolivia. Don't peek out, it's another freebie for Fana. He's insane. Like, it's just, they're nuts. 4 kills for the Athletes of Christ. They're not done yet. They're about to clear up that side.
I swear their bullets just have homing darts in them. Like, they just cannot miss sometimes, it feels like. And just managing to survive, too. And playing as a duo, they're just out in the wide open. They're not even focusing on anything. Like, Fana's looking off to the north. LFP's looking off to the south. They're just collecting points off of anything that shows itself. Last Breath. Nice game for them, though. 6 kills to start off. It'd be great if they can actually clean Duel out here and keep these 4 alive. Play it from the south side.
The shots from Sweezy just so close to hitting the head. You can see now with a circle that way that Duel, they have a massive problem, right? You're sharing that spot with Last Breath. For Nothing literally have no pressure on this section of the map whatsoever, so they're free to just rain shots into the rear end of Duel. And the problem for both of these teams is if I'm the Athletes of Christ and I see both teams suffering 2-3 knocks, they're going to push on, and here goes. Sweezy gets one. Danny will get one on the other side. Duel trading it back, but Duel will get wiped. But I think, Poro, not enough damage done for Athletes of Christ to push in.
No, yeah, I mean, Athletes of Christ, they're perfectly content to hanging out over there. Nobody's really taking any shots at them in forever. Like they've found the little hills and ridge lines that they can play, that they can free farm fire down onto other teams while keeping themselves safe. Meanwhile, Pest Control, they still got 3 up. They've got 4 kills so far. You see Conf once again has that bullet hose in hand, and looking like he might have eyes on securing that crate. That might be a bad decision though, because you see again, Athletes of Christ, they're just nobody's even looked in their direction.
The only thing that you can say is, if he keeps the car here and he clears Fana, this is a really good power position in the center of the circle, right? You've got, he's not going to hold it. He's going to move, but you know, if you use the coup, oh, well, never mind, Poro. What about that for a shift? For Nothing once again, getting rewarded for doing nothing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you've got to get a win off of this, don't you? Like you are getting this circle fortune go in your favor. You absolutely have to capitalize on it, and I'm not sure what 4-0 is sitting on in terms of kills right now. But you see Athletes of Christ playing with, they've got 6 already. They've got vehicles, at least they can still work around here, but they've got a long way to go. The question is, will they take out any of Pest Control as they make their way over? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, Fana's going to drop that nade exactly where it needs to be to do damage onto that coup, but take some damage in return the other way around. It's going to go prone to get some health on us. Conf will try to be a one-man highlight reel again, but that BZ is so good defensively. It holds Conf back.
Oh,
but
nice.
The molly from Conf is money on the spot. It managed to get another knock, and Conf will rotate back to the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And then the fact that he kind of lost his vehicle there in the process too. So he's going to get some support from the rest of the boys. They'll pick him up in the Uber. And it looks like they might have designs on taking out LFP as they try to find their way in. Last Breath still trying to see if they can get a foothold inside this zone before getting taken down by 4-0. And here's the drive-by.
Yeah. Look, Danny will get that knock onto Joshy too, and that'll force a bit of a reset from Pest Control as they try to get back up to a 3, but it buys Last Breath a little bit of time to move out of the trenches, to get closer to the center of the circle. 10 kills for Last Breath now, by the way, as remember, whoever finishes top on the day gets an instant invite to the day 1 of the playoffs, massively increasing their chances of playing in the PAS finals. But for the big thing now, look at the utility counts for 4-0. They've stayed clean. Yes, they've fired a lot of bullets, but they have so much throwable utility when it gets to the very end of this game.
Yeah, and this is just going to be the question of, like, can they strike at the perfect time? Can they pick the right timing to capitalize off of this fight between Last Breath and Pest Control? Like, both sides have taken knocks. There you go. Blazer will find K-Mind. But yeah, and it looks like 4-0, they're doing what they should be doing. They're leaving the compound now. They're starting to take positions closer towards the center of the circle, seeing if they can maybe get angles in onto this to get a few more points.
12 kills on the board for Last Breath. No control inside the circle, but they are feeling it right now. They've got the ones with the hotter hands. You can see that Sweezy has the links, so that's something you got to be really cautious about as you step out. But in a 3v3, the first knock is going to be so important. Poro, I think that 4-0 have played a really good game by just staying quiet. Now, Lyle will try to step on up and control this rock, and this is just great zonal control play for 4-0.
No, absolutely. But again, they've been able to make it to the late game. They put themselves in a good position to get a win here. It's a 3v4, which is always going to be tough. But as he said, they've got that good positioning, but they've only got 3 kills. They need to get this win in order for that circle fortune to kind of pay off in their favor. Last Breath, they've got 12 kills. They have been looking so good playing from this south side, but it's going to be tough. They've got the blue at their backs, and For Nothing is just got so many angles here. The only good news for them is Sweezy starting to run low on those Lynx bullets.
Yeah, that's a problem too. The thing about the big gun, the big stick, is you don't really get a lot to use, but I'm still looking otherwise, right? Liel, 1 nade, 1 molly, a couple of smokes and a couple of stuns, so utility is strong. Last Breath are going to be in a very different situation. They'll have been saving their smokes all the way through the game, but you know, the earlier fights that we saw in the trenches with the likes of Duel, with the likes of What It Takes, like they have used so much utility that all they really have left to work with is those smokes and stuns. And just as I say it, Blazer, 3 stuns and a smoke, nothing offensive that he can use apart from the barrel of that gun.
Yeah, I think if you're 4-0 at this point, you're trying to be patient. You want to wait until the perfect time to make this strike, because like you look at it, Last Breath, they're pinned up against the wall. Eventually they're going to have to move with the blue at their backs, so don't take any unnecessary risks here. If you're 4-0, just wait for Last Breath to have to put themselves in a bad spot. You definitely don't want to take a knock here, because that is just going to open up a door. If whoever takes the first knock is basically going to lose this match, you have to think.
100%. That Dorito is sitting so precariously as well, by the way, on the point of Sweezy. He's only got 4 rounds left, but remember, every round is almost a guaranteed knock, so if you can make 1 or 2 of them count, you give your team a massive benefit in this 3 versus 4 gunfight. Now we're starting to see those nades get tossed out this way as Liel will see Sweezy waste another 2 Lynx bullets are going to fall. Nade stepped up, but Poro, Last Breath, they're bringing the fight to them now.
And they've got to, like, they don't have any choice. So we'll see how many smokes they have left. They have to use these smokes while they're available. You can see some of them are starting to bleed out. Andrea will go for the side flank, gets the big knock on Liel, and that might open the door here for Last Breath to make the push in. A few more flashbangs left in the tank. Sweezy trying to do his best to hold the edge, but that is a big ask with a 4-man squad pushing right down on top of you.
Yeah, Sweezy though will give themselves a chance again, and another one. He gets 2 with a barrel, and we're into a 2 versus 2. Murillo and Sleazy. Sweezy, a triple so far. Oh! It's all down low, but the explosion will take down Murillo. 1v1 dancing around the US, and it's a clean 15, Poro. 14 actually for Last Breath. There's a little bit of friendly firework there, but that's a huge win in game number 1 for LB.
I cannot believe that he got away with that, going for the seat swap jump out spray down in a 1v1 is some of the ballsiest play I think I've seen in a long time, and he gets away with it. What a win for Last Breath.
Poro, I think that he knew the reload was happening, right? I think he saw the gunfight. He knew that Sweezy had to reload.
Beautifully timed.
The only way that he could get there quick enough was the seat swap, so that's huge for the side of Last Breath. And remember what we said earlier, winner on the night guarantees himself a spot in day 1 of the playoffs, which massively increases your chances. And as far as I can remember, Last Breath's only real chance of playing on day 1 is if they win tonight's action.
Yeah, we'll have to check the leaderboard whenever things finally come back. It looks like they I think that coming into today they had 45 points, so a big win in game 1. 24 points, that's going to shoot them right up to that cut line or nearby, so they can put together about 4 more good games. They might have a chance to catch Team Fate. We'll see how it goes. That's one hell of a way to start the snowball rolling in your direction.
Yeah, well, like I said, just win tonight. That should be the plan. You've got 4 more maps. You've got a 14-point lead. See where tonight will take you. But elsewhere, a couple of teams that didn't really need the points, farming them again as they tend to do. But I think we should take a very quick break, and when we come back,
I think
game
so
number
too.
2. Yeah, we'll see you guys in a few. Well, Paro, we are back in with the action. As it looks like Dream 1 have already got some damage onto the board at OP in this hot drop inside of Hacienda as they look to maybe win a drop after losing that one against What It Takes in the last map.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it seems like Dream 1, they just want to pick a fight with everybody to start things off here. Is overpowered after having a decent game that last time. Now find themselves in Hacienda. Trying to look around, it looks like Athletes of Christ are just off to their west in San Martin, but they have time to kind of play this one out. But again, this is kind of the same situation that Dream 1 was in game 1, where this is going on outside of the first circle. The first circle has gone down to the south of Los Leones, so they've kind of have to make the same decisions that they made last time. Yeah,
but hopefully this time they can get a little bit more value out of it, as last time they lost 3 players. Lucas is going to go and try to hold the angle, but Kristen will peek once with a shoddy second with a shoddy, and Overpowered deleted as a much better team fight from the side of Team 1. Those points will give them up into 9th place overall. As a little bit of BM there too, Paro, as Dream 1 might be saying, yeah, we said we were dropping this spot, but Dream 1, a team that need these points, and that's what they needed to kick off game 2 after what was a not so great map 1.
Yeah. I don't know if now is the time that you need to be doing the peacocking there a little bit, but you know what? Take your W's where you can get them. We see XH looking for a vehicle, but yeah, I mean, Athletes of Christ, they're hovering, and that is a terrifying proposition because Athletes of Christ have nothing to play for at this point but trying to go out there and kill people. Yeah,
that's for sure. And as they go into tonight, Paro, it kind of feels like we've got ourselves a straight up 1v1 fight between, I think, like Dream 1 and I Am Bolivia to try get to the 22 points that they need to get into those into the playoffs. And when you think about it, Dream 1, I think 18 points going into today, so they'll be on 22. They're right on that cutoff as things stands, and I Am Bolivia not too far away as well. So keep an eye, I suppose, Paro, on those two teams and how they perform tonight to see if they can make it into that last few spots inside the playoffs.
It's gonna be close for sure. And but I mean, I think it's close, but it's not. They're not so far behind where they need to sell out completely on every single fight or every single team that they come across. Like, they can still play their game, right? They can still kind of keep everybody together, try to get to late game, and just, you know, do what you got to do to keep all 4 alive. Like, if you do that and you're able to make it to late game, get some placement, get into the placement points at least, and then try to collect a few more kills once you're there, that might be enough. That cut line is not so far away, it's so far removed that they have to start changing their entire way of play here.
Yeah, and then you kind of talk about the secondary cut line that Rent Free kind of had going in today of 39 points. Like, that's not awfully far away either. Like, one good map win, and suddenly you go from entering the playoffs on day 3 to getting there on day 2, which I think we should clarify for the viewers at home. If you enter on the first day of playoffs, it does not mean you're playing all 3 days of playoffs. It means that you've got 3 chances. If you qualify on day 1, you will not be playing on day 2 or day 3.
Yeah, when we get to those playoffs, day 1, the top 8 from day 1 go on to the grand final. In day 2, the top 5 go on to the grand final, and on day 3, only the top 3 go on to the grand final. So that's the other reason why you want to kind of give yourself the opportunity, because look, getting 8th place on day 1 in that lobby is going to be a lot easier than getting top 3 on the final day. Even though the competition obviously is going to change, the strength of the lobby is going to change as those days of playoffs progress. You still got to figure top 8, probably a little bit of an easier task than trying to get top 3.
Yeah, and you have to remember that's top 3 in a best of 5 days, so you could see a team qualify over like 2 good maps. Like, that is how close it gets whenever we get into those these best of 5s. But I think we'll talk way more in depth about that as we get, you know, through the night and closer to those playoffs.
Sure.
But as it stands, I think Paro, the circle, we haven't shown it that much on stream, but it's very southern focused. It's very similar to one you and I had 2 weeks ago, where it's like 30% water. I think we finished in and around resort. Do you fancy a little doubling down, a bit more resort action?
Oh man, I mean, the resort games are always fun, but it just seems like we've seen so much South Los Leones recently, and I mean, maybe that's just, it might just be me, you know, confirmation bias more than anything, but yeah, I mean, it feels like we these things come in waves, right? Like for a long time, it was East Los Leones, the fields to the east of Los Leones that was just getting pressed over and over again. And then before that, it was West Los Leones. And then before that, it was, you know, El Azahar and the those kind of circles. Like it just seems like these come in waves. I don't know if I'm just if making this up though. I could be making it up. Who knows?
I know exactly how you feel.
It's not beyond me.
I'll tell you why I think it's how it is. We have so much PUBG in the last 2 years compared to what we had, like, historically, when you consider last year we had all the cups, the PASs, the PGCs.
That's fair.
There's so much Miramar that we're getting so many circles that I think it feels like we get them more often than not, but there definitely has been, like, phases where it is, like, Southern Los Leones, or you remember there was a stage where it was just constantly that valley above north of Valle de Mar, like, just every single game for, like, 3 weeks felt like it was that way. But I suppose what's the old saying? Does correlation mean causation? It does kind of feel like we are getting a lot of Southern low circles.
Well, the good news for these guys is if you're getting those constantly, then you kind of get better at playing them, right? You get a better read on how you want to approach them. As we check in with Athletes of Christ, again, despite not winning that first game, they still get paid, right? Like I think they still ended up with like 10 points, you know. But it's just it opens the door though. If Athletes of Christ isn't going to be out here, you know, winning games, if they're just going to be kind of playing these salvage games and still getting points, but it kind of opens the door for somebody to take a win here that's not AOC and to secure their spot on day one of the playoffs through just winning day 5.
Look, Paro, even if they're not out crusading to the east or to the west and getting like loads of wins, they're still passing around the collection basket for the rest of the lobby to pay their taxes and tolls to, right? So they're still getting their dues. They're a modern way of getting points in PUBG.
Exactly. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but we're getting the two Catholic boys in here talking about Athletes of Christ. I don't know if that's what they needed, but okay. So we see Rent Free. Well, I think we had kind of eyes on Rent Free coming into today. Like you look at that roster, big names on that roster. They had a decent week last week, but that was the only week they played. So you know, I think a lot of high expectations put on these guys, and I imagine that they will definitely make the cut line to get into the playoffs. It's just a question of what day will they be there after only having played 2 days here, as we see Andrew actually getting a shot into Gats from range.
Yeah, I think they're on 42 points at the minute, which has them, I think, inside the top 12, which is a day 2 appearance at what should be the minimum. Like, you'd expect them to get another 10 to 15 points today, but if I'm that roster and I didn't play all the first, 3 cups, but I only played 2 cups and I can get a win, or even if Athletes of Christ win tonight and they come second, they'll go into day 1 of the playoffs. Like, it's kind of the same as what we're seeing at the PGSs at the moment. You've got 3 on each cycle, but it's the last one, which is, the end of the cycles where he gets the bigger money and the better points.
Yeah, you gotta try to get the bigger payoff. So, at the end of the day, if you're able to do in 1 day what or 2 days what took 5 days for everybody else, then you know what? No harm, no foul. You still got there to where you needed to get. As we see, FN gonna lose Lyle there to Lopez, and Duel. They've got a big wide split here. Now they do have Rent Free off to their west, not really getting too close, but this is a really aggressive split on the part of Duel.
Yeah, Duel playing aggressively, but I like to see it from them, right? They're another team that'll comfortably be playing on day 1 of the playoffs, so express yourselves, play with aggression, throw your weight about the lobby a bit more than what we've seen. I think, realistically, NA has been the team from North America, alongside What It Takes, that have been properly throwing their weight about. I'd like to see Duel step things up now, but, Poro, it's a hard split, right? How do they get away with this? Yeah, it's a hard split.
How does Athletes of Christ get away with this? They took the E-pick up and they land in the dead center of the circle in a compound that has nobody in it. But there's no way they could have scouted. just
they had faith.
the rich get richer. I swear.
They had faith.
I'm starting to think I'm like looking around, looking up at the sky. There might be something going on here.
All I'm waiting on is like later on to have them to cross a river and suddenly just turn it to land and walk their way over. Like then I'll be fully converted to the athletes of Christ. But Poro, I'm looking at it, right? They've got a good spot. They don't really have to travel too far now, regardless of whether the circle goes. You know, the only hampering that they would have is by dropping late, you're not going to have a vehicle. But what I would say is they're probably, you know, they win a fight, they probably get one delivered their way.
Well, even then, I mean, they're damn near dead center circle. Are they even going to need one? I mean, and plus, if it goes east at all, they've got a pretty clear path from where they're at up east into the foothills there. I mean, I guess the only concern really is New Gen All Stars that are off to their west. But yeah, no, we'll see how it plays out when the next circle starts to arrive. But that's a really just insane get for them. Given that they e-pick up from all the way off north and just had no idea what they were pushing into. That just goes to show, like, they were ready to fight somebody for that spot.
Oh, always.
They had to drop down and we're just like, are you serious? There's nobody here? This always has somebody in it.
I love it. Like, they're if you're, like, new to the region, or say you're one of these people like, well, I don't want to support the Falcons, or I don't want to support Liquid because, you know,
you don't want to be a front runner.
Yeah, like, say you want to be hipstery. I think they're the team that you'd be drawn to watch because they're just so much fun. They're aggressive. They play on the front foot. They get circle shifts like that help them even more. Like, they'd be my, like, dark horses of a team to, like, keep an eye on this year. They might not qualify for the first few PGSs, but if they stick together and keep growing, like, they could be in with a shout when we get to that second series of PASs.
Yeah, look, man, they still got a long way to go to prove that they can hang in the lobby with the big dogs, with our regional partner teams and our global partner teams. But I mean, they've already shown, like, they are the people's champ at this point. Like, when you come down to the open qualifier scene, like, they've been dominant, and that is definitely a good way to pick up fans if you're not wanting to be the one that comes right in and start rooting for Manchester United. Go and root for Everton. Like
oh,
me.
of course you get that on. Or you could, or you could support Spurs like Mark Power. He'd love to. If you see Mark Power, just ask him how much he likes being a Spurs fan. He'll definitely not get annoyed at all. But jumping back,
well, some people actually want to watch Premier League soccer next year, so I don't know if you want to be a Spurs fan.
He's an Arsenal fan, but it would really make him happy if you call him a Spurs fan.
That's okay. Yeah, that's even better. I like that.
You gotta play 4D chess, get him off his game. But what it takes on the
Cowboys of the EPL. Sports ball, everybody.
Yeah, there's more than one type of sport other than esports. Everyone is. Like, Cons could probably make a highlight reel from these cups alone. Like, he has just been nuts.
Well, that time he got knocked out of a car and run over by his own teammate. So that one might not make the reel.
That's a highlight reel. Get it on the reel. You need something.
Keep you humble.
You need comic relief in a reel. Every good player has got a comic relief moment.
That is fair. That is fair. Well, Pest Control, they're going to take this spot right outside the tunnel. I don't know if they have any idea that X10 is down here, but they might be getting, yeah, those cars are going to be a dead giveaway that somebody else is in here. So yeah, they'll just smoke it off, reposition here just a little bit, and they're going to know dang well that there's going to be somebody that'll push out of there eventually. As New Gen All Stars, they're going to find AFI. Ducky gone down immediately, followed up by another grenade as Zalady. Oh no, he didn't hear the grenade drop, and he gets taken down. Shinboy is just eating right now.
Yeah, but that's what Shinboy does. Big nade's going to get the 2 points on the board. That's one confirmed for Iga and one on the board for Shin, and he's going to keep on the fight. Now, this is a tough push to make. Mizbo on the other side of that wall will have good sight lines on the Shinboy as he pushes his way in, and he's got the nade at the ready. So Shin is going to have to be good. I think if New Gen All-Stars want to win this fight and not do it with utility, they need to play a really good trade here, Paro. Like, they need to send 2 players in, both from one side, be like, yeah, it's okay if we get one player knocked, the other player will secure the knock and kill on the other side.
Yeah, you just don't want to take the risk of just being the hero and just W keying into a 1v1 without that backup, because then you might get them eventually, but you're going to lose your own life in the process and drop your team down to 3, and nobody really wants to do that. So Shinboy doing what he should do, being disciplined, waiting for Balefrost. They're going to go in together, and there's Mizbo. They spot him out. They do indeed. Balefrost will take him down, and now Ghost, the last player left alive for AFI.
Yeah, and Shinboy's going to peek on over with a K9 as well, knowing that he can sustain the knock, but 3 kills on the board for NA, 3 more points. Just keeping themselves ahead of the curve. Remember, prize money up for grabs on the PAS leaderboard as well. Dream One's Lippy. 5 kills on the board for them. Looking to maybe add another one as they start pushing up towards X10. That's a good nade, and that will force Franks back into cover while the res is still going on the other side. But Pest Control Paro, they're wrapping in on the other side of the mine, so it's getting really, really hot here for X10.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for X10, they just get caught in a sandwich. But the other good part about playing around inside these tunnels is that you can do things like this, find that flanking angle. Franks, big payoff there, as Pest Control kind of, they haven't fully decided to commit into coming in here. I think they're just kind of hanging around on the entrance to see if they can maybe steal something away. But they like their position right now, and I don't blame them. K-Man, yeah, see, K-Man doesn't want to, he's going to get in a little bit, but not overcommit.
Yeah, gets the periscope out now as well, so he can keep an eye on what's going on elsewhere as he'll feed the information to the rest of the team. But I think for Pest Control is you don't want to make too much noise pushing into X10, because look where Duel are. Like, they've got that, if I'm not wrong, Penta's got that little tunnel that he can go down as well that gives him access onto this one. So Pest can't go too deep without worrying about getting pushed from the other side as well.
And meanwhile, over here on the southwest, what it takes, scrapping with FN. They already see 1 knock there as Sweezy, he might be the last player alive. He is, and that's a good grenade from Morns to take him down. His New Gen All-Stars, after dispatching with the previous team, now turning their attention over to I Am Bolivia. And I think they got 1 knock and a flush off of them already.
Yeah, and I Am Bolivia, remember, one of the teams that are trying to make it into the playoffs. They had 15 points going into tonight. 22 points was the cutoff, but I think that it has maybe been raised just a little bit now with them getting a few, or with Dream One getting those extra points on the board. But Lucid now drawing the ire and attention of Shinboy. He's just looking to make his mark on the foreheads of all these teams. Yeah, this is not looking good. Yeah,
no, Shinboy was looking down in that direction, but Iga, I think, spotted Athletes of Christ coming down. So this is a match between our top 2 teams, or 2 of the top teams in the lobby, as LFP is going to get spotted by Iga. That starts things off, as LFP is nowhere near the rest of his squad either. But Haven will get the trade, and Iga goes down. The grenades are coming through, but not finding the mark, as both of these teams just trading back and forth. Finna as this side flanking angle, but Athletes of Christ, they're not falling for it. They're going to stay on the other side, just use the smokes to push in.
Yeah, and LFP's got a minute before he bleeds out as well, so you're not necessarily... He's actually got more than a minute, because it is, of course, the first knock, so they know that they can still go for the 3v3, bide their time a little bit, do some scout work, see if he gets some kills, as Fana maybe finds that farm machinery a little bit too tough to run through, but Tony with that second knock onto Iga, and now Athletes of Christ are going to go. Look, there's an old saying, if at first you don't succeed, try and try and try again, Paro. If at first you don't succeed with the Athletes of Christ, run away, because they're just going to do this to you.
Yeah, and you have to stay disciplined in your fights against these teams. And yes, see, Finno's going to get spotted out by Red Free. Yeah, now Balefrost, all of a sudden, the last player left alive. You have to stay disciplined. You have to keep those smoke walls refreshed, because that's basically what happened there. The smoke wall went down. He tried to go for that side flanking angle, or try to go for the res, and just got absolutely eaten alive by Tony. The push comes through. Balefrost will win that 1v1, so Tony getting a little aggressive there, but Haven will finish him off in the end.
Bale got a little bit thirsty to get another knock instead of confirming out his kill, so the Athletes of Christ, they will be back up to a 4, and I'll keep an eye on what Rent Free want to do. They might just try hold them out. Duel wrapping their way in as Lopez will manage to find a little bit of an angle, but here is that Dream One re-pushing with X10. X10 have rotated all the way in. Pest Control have left, and Cruzen, I don't think he wanted to jump out on the backside. That's going to be an easy knock and flush onto the final player, or second last player, leaving just XH as the only one left. He's up on the hill, he's peeking on down, but X10 somehow getting out Paro, and here comes that Athletes of Christ push. I talked about Rent-Free holding them out. They are getting punished here by the Athletes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Rent-Free. They had that big wide split. Maybe they got shot in the back and were forced into a worse position, but either way, Athletes of Christ fighting their way across that street, using those smokes exactly how they need to. X4, did XH just kill H?
Yep.
He sure did. X10 goes down, so the solo hero will come through there for Dream 1. We'll see if he can survive a little bit longer.
8 points for them, and remember, that's putting them right up over that cut line and into the playoffs, as Rent-Free are going to get wiped as well. That's, oh, Mortar, it's looking good. It's a little bit too far away. That was almost bang on the money to get 2 for the price of 1. Andrew, you can footer all you like and try to get this angle the way it's going to work, but it looks to me like you're looking the wrong way.
Well, they might get lucky on it. You never know. No, that's nowhere near. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
You like that word, by the way?
What's that?
Footering. A good Irish word. Someone footers.
Oh,
like, you
yeah,
know,
I've
if
never
you're
heard
talking
that
about
before.
you know the way you hear about fidgeting?
Yeah.
An Irish word is just footering. If you're
Footering.
footering about. Yeah.
Footering about. Oh, God, you're so Irish. All right. Well, that's my first time hearing that one, but now I've learned something, Chad. We've learned footering.
Aye.
They need to quit footering about over there on that northern side. On that southern side, oh my God, that circle shift. All those teams that are just to the south are all running into each other. As we see, XH from Dream 1 will get spotted out. He's going to go down, but not before collecting a nice little stack of kills for Dream 1. And now Caution, they have sent one in already, but the rest of the boys are kind of pinned down.
Yeah, the worst part of the holiday now for all these teams is it's time to leave the resort and make your way back. Duel, fighting them from multiple fronts here. Kane, the only player left alive, as he's getting hit by so many players at once, and it looks like it's HP's Penry who gets that knock and kill confirm as they get up to a couple of kills. I think they've got one player left alive, and that is Flashy. As Pest Controller wiped, there's just way too many teams and players alive on the southern side for the future, the amount of teams that there's left alive in the circle.
Yeah, it's just all mutually assured destruction at this point. As Slabby peeking with the muty in hand, we'll have to switch over to the on to take down Bragg. Bragg goes down, Lil Suey goes down as well, as Caution is now left down to just their one player who is already inside the zone. Slabby doesn't know that though, but he is leading the lobby in damage right now with 539. Not too shabby for young Slabby.
Yeah, and not a bad player either. No way, of course, they're another one of those teams that we spoke about that could force their way into that top, 8 positions if they play really well on the night. But I think Fi, the point tally that they have right now of 10 through one game and a half isn't quite going to be the tempo or pace that they need to set if they want to wipe Team Fate out of that first day. Last Breath, though, they're going about things the right way. Paro, 4 kills already, 29 on the night so far for points, and still finding themselves in a really good position in the center of the zone.
Yeah, they get circle blessed a little bit here by having that compound fall right in the dead center, but they're doing what they should do. They're kind of spreading out, looking multiple angles. They're keeping eyes on every different spot that they can. Athletes of Christ know exactly the angles that they have to peek from and are kind of playing around that. You can see, like, he knows that he can't get shot from either of those buildings. No window really peeking out over here. So LFP kind of free to just keep peeking down towards No Way. No shots coming out just yet, though.
Yeah, and he's not going to unless he finds himself with a chance to get an easier clean knock. You got the whole team there. Now you get the shift. Last Breath have kind of been blessed again. Yes, you could argue that they're on maybe the busier side of the circle with the fact that No Way will probably push up to that ridge line just south of the compound. What It Takes might have their eyes there as well, depending on what way it goes. But for all in all, I think that the Athletes of Christ are going to decide who's going to win this game based on whether they push towards I Am Bolivia or whether they push towards Last Breath.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision that Athletes of Christ have to make right now, and they're gonna take their time with it. There's no reason to push in early. They'll stay split, keep that high ground, keep peeking for as long as they can to see if they can get any more points off of this. It's Flashy trying to see if he can go fishing with dynamite. He's gonna find one. Actually, no, that's Last Breath. Gonna get the knock on a sneak attack as Flashy still just surviving the flashbangs from What It Takes, having to keep those smoke walls laid down because Last Breath has angles onto all of this. Yeah,
and I think Flashy knows he can't push up that ridgeline either without Last Breath getting an angle, so He is entrenched, and you can't throw those in first person or third person. You got to go first person if you're throwing utility, if you want it to go exactly where you need it to go. Another nade's going to get tossed as what it takes. Mad to get Zito back on his feet. Sneak attacks down to 1 health point as well, but what it takes desperately want to take this spot away from Flashy.
He's just, I mean, I think he was just spamming all of his offensive utility with hopes that he might hit something, but that time the bullets are going to hit, but Zito will blow up the vehicle and that'll take down Flashy. And now what it takes should have a little bit of a foothold here. They should be able to get that res off as well. Athletes of Christ, they decide to finally make the move, and it looks like I Am Bolivia going to be their target.
Yeah, the Bolivians now need to stand as strong as Kamba will stand on one side. You've got Nazira at the other with the M249. A lot of rounds. There's no way we'll wipe out Caution. They didn't push towards what it takes, which is an option that they could have had, but I Am Bolivia entrenched in this spot. And Zito will find a knock on the south side, but Kamba's the first one here in this fight. And Nazira's going to flush it out too, so Fan has been dropped. And this is really good stuff. Good hold from the Bolivians so far.
Just right in the window. Beautiful grenade from LFP to get that knock onto Kamba. Is, I don't know, Tony gonna go down though now to Danny, so Last Breath kind of giving a little bit of support from range, and now LFP in trouble. You saw him get knocked really low. Nazira have time to heal up, and they haven't had a chance to go for the res here onto Kamba just yet. LFP with Panzerfaust in hand. Love to be able to breach here. He's going to be looking in the wrong direction though, and he's going to go down. Athletes of Christ get taken out. I Am Bolivia hold strong.
Yeah, and I think that puts I Am Bolivia into the playoffs, at least for now, as those extra few points will help them climb the leaderboard. And Last Breath pushing this way, knowing that they can control essentially all of the northern side of the circle if they can deal with the Bolivians, who are going to be low on reserves now, having been involved in that fight. And oh, Danny, look, he spots the Panzer, and maybe he can find a bit more success than Athletes of Christ were able to with that very important bit of util.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Last Breath. I mean, they only sent 2 over here. They were hoping to maybe get I Am Bolivia when they were weak, but I Am Bolivia able to reset, and I think Last Breath realizing that, the stopwatch going off in their head, saying like, okay, maybe we can't make this push here just as a duo. Meanwhile, No Way trying to deal with the other duo of Last Breath, what it takes just on the other side as well. But we saw what it takes rain pretty much every last bit of utility they had, trying to get rid of that last solo player. And I don't think they have much left in the bag.
Yeah, now the BZs are being used here as well, as there's an attempt to clear out the building that Last Breath are in. Now there will be a corner on the edge that these players can get to without being touched by that screaming hot blue flame, I suppose, whatever you want to call it. The BZ expands and retracts its way. Yeah, scream. Look, when you see a BZ, it does not make you scream. You're like, ah!
Yeah, sure. Ow. Yeah, no, we'll go with it. we'll take screaming hot. Well, No Way still trying to make their way in. Lopez getting a little bit closer, playing from the side of the building with no window. That'll provide them some level of protection as the blue zone is nipping at their heels. The rest of Last Breath has returned over here after posturing around I Am Bolivia. What it takes, meanwhile, looks like they were content just to kind of hang out down in that ditch and waiting for a better opportunity to make a push here.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for something to kick off above them, you know, create some form of distraction that will allow them to walk up and
as they should
in the action. Yeah, exactly. Because there's no reason not to. Now Slabby, he's essentially the front man, the point man. He will fire that Panzer if anybody walks out in that balcony, and that's the go signal. But a good nade toss the other way forces Slabby to dip back into some cover. He's going to close the door this time. Oh no, Andrew was a little bit off there with that throw.
A little bit.
I'm gonna lie.
A little bit. I think it might have been through the smoke, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a little reprieve there, as Lopez is going to get spotted by Arv. That'll be 1 down for No Way. The Panzerfaust comes up high, gets him low enough to get knocked, but nice trade coming through as No Way. It is 2-2 now, and what it takes, that's the dinner bell ringing. They're going to try to push up here and capitalize.
Yeah, and Gladiator, he's going to try confirm out that kill just to get extra points for them too. They're up to 9 kills on the game so far. Center point still held by 2 of the last players for Last Breath, but of course they're in a very precarious position because the Bolivians are on the move now as well, as that Molly wasn't too far away. Slabby getting close to the door. Panzer's going to green him. Andrew does a ton of damage, but Slabby is going to shut him down. That is that. No way get up to 10 kills. Last breath deleted. And it's going to be either What It Takes, No Way, or I Am Bolivia to take the win. But What It Takes, Poro, they've put themselves right in the mix to get a win now.
That patience paying off really big for him right now. And I Am Bolivia, they're kind of doing the same thing, coming over here and seeing if they can maybe catch No Way before they're able to get this res back up. You see the blue zone tickling at the heels of Slabby. That is a really nice game, but I think I Am Bolivia getting a little bit distracted by What It Takes. Gladiator actually going to get the knock on a Lucid. Nazera has that high ground, but you gotta be careful. That P90 on the field looms large for What It Takes, but good grenade. Get him low enough. There you go. Kamba will clean him out, and now What It Takes will go down. It's I Am Bolivia versus No Way. It's I Am Bolivia as your winner with 7 kills in game number 2.
Yeah, 19 points for them. Will rocket them up the leaderboard. Poro, they're now in the playoffs, right? I think we can safely say they should not fall out of the spots, at least for day 3. The question is, have they just given themselves an opportunity to maybe play to get into the door on day 2?
Ooh, that's the question. And if not, they still have 3 more games to make a run and try to collect a few more as we get lots of highlights of early game Dream 1. They can't seem to stop avoiding these fights at the early game. They're getting involved early.
So, Poro, looking at it, right, going into today, we'll say that was like maybe 14th place was the cutoff for day 2. That was 39 points that was held by Rent Free, who've of course climbed. They will have passed out the likes of Collector and Chapinski's, who were on 41 each. 15 points was what I Am Bolivia had going into today. They just added 17 more. They have put themselves in with a really good chance of making it into day 2 of the playoffs instead of day 3.
They've got a shot, and that's all you can really ask, right? Is try to put yourself in the best position with as many games left to make a run. And if they can get into day 2, that's going to give them at least more opportunity to try to make that grand final. But a great game from them, 17 kills and holding off Athletes of Christ, which is no small feat in and of itself. That's the hard way to get your W.
Yeah, I think they got a little help from Last Breath, but still, even in the distracted Athletes of Christ are difficult to deal with. And I Am Bolivia, they played it well. Look, they got the circle, they pushed at the right time, they held their ground when they had to, and it puts them into 4th place on the night with 19 points. But Poro, Last Breath, a really good day for them coming in, right? I think nobody would have expected them to be on 36 points after 2 maps, but they're going well.
I mean, they've had 45 points total in the other 2 days that they played, so almost matching their previous total in 2 games is a hell of a way to start your day. And they've still got 3 more games left to go, and it's just amazing what you can do when you come in here and you have a great start to things. It just gets that snowball where the vibes are high, you're feeling good, everybody's feeling better about things, and all of a sudden you just start playing better. The psychology of it is half the battle.
Yeah, No Way, by the way, have put themselves up to, I think, 85-ish points, which is 15 points off Team Fate in 7th place. You think they're getting? You think they can get it over the line? They're trending towards it anyway.
I mean, they have a shot, don't they? I mean, again, Team Fate that was at our cut line not playing today, and that cut line is pretty much 100 points on the nose overall, right? So No Way was looking at being about 29 points shy coming into today. So the only problem for No Way is that there's other teams now that are right in their same situation that are making those same type of moves. So you look at Last Breath, you look at I Am Bolivia, you know, all these teams kind of have that same goal in mind. So we'll see where things are setting up with 3 games left to play.
Yeah, we will indeed. We're going to jump into a very quick break while we get ourselves ready for the action in the next map. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes. And we are back, everyone, after that short break, and we are moving very swiftly towards Tego Poro, which is the halfway point of the night. And this is the point where we'll see some teams kick up the pace in their push for whichever day of the playoffs they elect to be on, and then some teams maybe slip into the danger zone of dropping maybe out of day 2 and into day 3.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of chances to get it done. So it's just, you know, whatever you've got in the bag, throw it up against the wall, see what sticks, try to get as many points as you can, because, you know, as it stands, the difference between playing 1 day or 2 days or 3 days is could be the difference between just making it to the playoffs and making it to that grand final.
Yeah, and of course, the playoffs is where things get really tough, because day 1, the 8 regional partner, the mix of the eight teams, which are the 5 regional partner teams plus the 3 global partner teams, or you know, the ones that are advanced, is going to really make things a bit more interesting, Poro. And you know, when you look at that, that's going to bring Falcons back into the lobby. Liquid will be there. Fury are going to be rejoining the group. I expect to see BL and co back in action. Toyo, like, it gets really hard. And as you said earlier, 8 teams qualify on day 1, 5 on day 2, and 3 on day 3. So you'd imagine that a lot of those 8 will probably go through on day 1, but it's still going to be really, really hard as those playoffs progress.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and again, you don't really know how many of those guys, those top 8 are going to go through, because you got a lot of new roster on there. I mean, you got the new look Rock with Sparking, like obviously on paper look like they should be absolutely dominant, but you don't really know, do you, until you're in there. And again, it's also a 5-game set, and in 5-game sets it feels like anything can happen. So the best teams in the world show that they can put in 10-point, 12-point games in a 5-game set.
Look, nobody's better, I suppose nobody is a better example of it than the likes of, say Liquid, if you're a fan of the Americas, or even VP if you're a fan of Europe. Like, out of the 3 PCSs or PGSs they played in, they've only made it to the finals once in the 5-map format. So it's really, really tough. Like, as I keep saying, I cannot believe how much removing 1 map has made to how difficult getting qualification points is. Like, it significantly reduces your chances to get points. It significantly reduces that cutoff line. And they used to be saying, you know, you can have a bad map. In the 5-map rotation, you've 1 bad map and you're already really behind the sticks.
Yeah, it's extremely tough for those guys, and it's extremely stressful, and you know, I mean, it's bringing back memories, not all good memories, of the stressful times of that you know, MC format, honestly. And that's it obviously a kind of different game altogether, but the stress is still the same. And you know, you don't want to be in that position to where you're having to rely on 1 game or 2 games for your tournament life.
You mean the good old days where it was win the map to qualify through the next stage, and you'd get a 19 kill second and not qualify because the team ahead of you got a 1 kill win? God, it's a fun, when you look back, it's a funny history we have, but it's a fun one, right? And these chances, these players, they have a chance to add pages to the history of this book. Do you like what I did there?
Yeah, funny history, and you can add pages to that funny history and make it hilarious.
Like
what everybody's trying to do,
show. Right? Yeah. So look, we have seen many a team like, I suppose, the Rats, who were trying to make that history funny for the viewers. Maybe not for the players in the lobby.
Maybe not. Yeah, so it might rub some people the wrong way sometimes, but it'll definitely get you some fans, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't see anybody in this lobby that's just acting wheels off and throwing that additional element of chaos into the lobby here today. All these guys are here to play, and they're here to win, it seems like.
Other than athletes of Christ who are doing it and still winning, I guess is the main way to put it. Like,
it's not like they're trolling though. They're just kind of essing on everybody. It's just the way that's a different thing altogether.
It's a fine line, isn't it? You know, from being a team that's a bit of a menace and causing problems to everybody. Like, if you're losing most of your fights, you're just being a menace. But if you're winning them, suddenly you're your top team. Calnix is doing some scouting here. Hopefully he doesn't run into the waiting arms of Wooly, who's been I want to say, Woolie's been on point tonight, Poro. He's been hitting his shots every time we've watched his POV.
You know, it's if Woolie's feeling things, then that's scary news for everybody else in the lobby. Is Duel? I mean, on paper, well, I'm gonna say this, and I don't want Duel fans to take this the wrong way, but the Duel squad on paper, like 2 years ago, that would have been an insane roster. Where it stands today is still up for debate. Like, it still seems like they've still got a lot of kind of like game to game. It's not always there, but when they're on, man, you can just tell like the skill is still there.
Well, we've seen Iroh pop off a few times already, and it gives people flashbacks to back in the day. And I suppose a lot of people in the lobby are going to be fans of Penta too. And I'm a Penta fan.
As they should be.
He's insane.
Shout out Papa Lou.
Yeah. What about, you're speaking about that. What about the new gen All Stars? Like, you take that team a few years ago as well. Shinboy, Finna, Iga, and Bale. Like, Bale's been a fragger for years, Paro, but
yeah,
I just feel like he's only ever showed us in like peaks and valleys. Like, I want to say people to take this the right way, but with Bale, it feels like he'll have one incredible day, and then the next day he won't reach the levels that he had the day before. Like, he has it in the tank, but we need him to be just a bit more consistent.
Yeah, and you know, it is what it is. Like, it's a very hard game to play. It's a very, very hard game to find any amount of consistency in, especially considering how wild these lobbies are and just the amount of RNG that goes into it, just with the circles. Like, that's the RNG is the point, right? Like, this whole game is meant to see how well that you can adapt when things don't go your way, right? So
yeah,
you know, you could be as mechanically insane as you want as anybody in the world and still not find success, i.e. Navi.
Yeah. Well, Poro, it's the title, right? Like, in other games, it might be a 5v5 or a 4v4, and you're like, right, well, we've just got 4 people to deal with. In every single lobby that you enter in this game, you've got 60 other players whose every decision impacts what happens to you over the course of a game.
Oh, nice grenade.
Fana, he's going to hope this decision by Hot and Spicy doesn't go the wrong way for him, and, well, it's Confit gets the knock, and Athletes of Christ probably going to lose one here, and they do.
They do indeed, and it's out in the middle of the field there, the hills, really, where these I swear, man, these hills are just they're terrifying. In every it's like this on, it feels like it's on like this on all the maps, but this one in particular, you'll be on top of somebody and not even know it, and somebody will be on top of you instantly before you can even react, really, as we see No Way trying to defend their compound against the push from X10 with a little bit of help on the outside from HP, as Slabby, yeah, you gotta duck down and go for that res.
Yeah, get yourself into some cover. X10, though, they'll get ready to toss some utility, but like you said, Horseplay just having a little bit of a look over here as Lib looks this way. You got Flashy not too far away. Tyson's there too alongside Penry, and like, I feel like for Horseplay, they're playing that waiting game again, right? It's, we have an angle, we'll take shots at these players in the open, but we are not going to push until the kind of the cinders are here from this fight to what's left over to see if there's many extra points we can get, and I think that suits them with what I think they're playing this smart.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is a compound, right? Like, pushing into this was there's no reason to just kind of stay on the outside, stay on the periphery, see if you can steal away any knocks. Like, Slabby gets knocked in the open right there, and fortunately enough for him, everybody else is left, but Franks will make sure that he finishes his plate, and that's going to be another one picked off of No Way as the utility spamming comes through. Gladiator going to go down again to Cali next. He won't be able to be res this time as he is down, and X10 doing a really good job of going building to building. I think it might be because they had a read that Horseplay had left, and they had the ability to move between spaces.
Yeah, they're doing the right thing. They're moving piece to piece. HP actually left as well while all this was going on, so it means that these two teams that are left to fight in the cells. Franks down very low is going to pop another first aid, but DNL has managed to climb his way up on top of the roof. The footsteps will reveal Frank's position to Lopez, so he'll switch over to the S12K, giving himself that little bit more firepower. But Poro, the problem he has is Frank's behind that barrel has got the Panzerfaust, and let's be real, shotgun good, Panzer at close range, much more deadly.
A little bit more terrifying for sure. And actually using that smoke gun to smoke off that flanking angle. And that's going to basically render DNL useless. Although, never mind, DNL finding the knock on the Franks. I speak too soon. That smoke maybe fell. Yeah, it looks like he tried to smoke him off up on top of it. It fell down to the low side, and Franks didn't realize it until it was too late.
Yeah, it'll be interesting whenever the update, I think we saw in the patch notes, they're thinking about bringing isometric smoke in, or I think isometric is the wrong word, but basically smoke that you can dissipate with utility will be a fun one and change how things are played significantly. But Frank's unlucky, the smoke fell, so did he. That means Klausera and Kalnix now need to work together to deal with what's left from No Way, who, like we said, are creeping their way up towards that 100-point overall mark over the stage of all these cups, which brings more prize money, brings a day one berth as well, and these 2 extra points, if you can get them onto X10, will help you get that climb even more.
Oh, DNL is such a problem here for X10. I mean, you see they got Lopes basically picked out, like he can't move, but they can't put themselves in a position because everywhere they peek from, it seems like DNL has eyes on. So Lopez just kind of like playing the wall and being bait, essentially. And yeah, Frank's gonna bleed out, so X10 can't even go for the res there.
Yeah, another 2 points for No Way. I was kind of saying they need about 5 points a game. They want to get into those top spots to get into the day one of the playoffs. So trending well in the early stages of this one as Klausera will med up his gear, get the helmet ready, get the vest ready, give yourself another fight as Kalnix keeps peeking out. And or as I look at the map, the zone has bypassed this. They're not in the circle anymore. So nobody's going to interrupt this fight either. Like this fight is going to stay until one of these teams is dead.
Yeah, map hard, the circle hard shifted to the west. Oh, nice shots from Lopez. We'll take down Kalnix. And to be fair, No Way, if they can win this clean, they have the option to go for those blue chips and maybe think about getting their teammates back on their feet. So the push in here, they know they're in a 2v1, teaming up together to push through, try to find him, but Lazera doing his best to avoid everybody. He's got that high ground right there, pushing through DNL with the Panzerfaust. He's going to miss that one. And Kalnix, oh, Klausera, there you go, will go down in the end. So No Way now have the option to try to go for their blue chips and see if they can maybe find a spot to go for the res. Like the north side of the circle, Gibson, is completely empty.
Yeah, it's surprised when you think of the fact there's still 15 teams alive, and it is phase 2 closing now as Zello will confirm out that kill on Jimu a little further away as OP. 3 points on the board, a little big ask for them to get into the top kind of spots to get into day 3 of the playoffs, but every journey has to start at some point. A sneak attack from What It Takes tries to hold off both Pest Control and NA. This is a 3-way North American battle here. I know we got some players from outside the region on What It Takes, but it really is a 3-way North American battle between 3 of the strongest teams we've seen so far as well in this section of the map.
Yeah, and it's a tough spot to fight as there's so many hills around Rent Free. Meanwhile, they're hanging around Books and Saw, where we've already seen one enter in, and now Horseplay will join from that northern side. So you got those hills that you can play around that we'll see if Horseplay, how deep they decide to go here. But it's kind of rare to see 3 teams sharing this spot in Books and Saw because there's just so many angles and so many ways that you can go in and peek. But I like Rent Free what they're doing. They're just kind of playing around the outskirts of the outside. Meanwhile, Dream 1, they're just waiting for somebody to put themselves in a bad position.
This is the longest I think Dream 1 have gone in a game without having a fight with 2 or 3 players dying as well. Like, yeah. They've been pretty much active in all the maps tonight so far. 2 hot drops. This game's been a bit quieter. XH44, 4for4, had a good game earlier, wiping out, I think it was X10. But as it stands, I think they're just hoping that... Actually, when you look at the teams that are in this compound with Dream 1 and Horseplay, and I think the likelihood is the team that's going to get most aggro will be Rent Free, because HP and Dream 1... they're less likely to get aggressive on the push here. They're going to hold and wait to maybe see if they can get some gunfights and some points on the board.
It would take somebody getting really close to Rent Free on that south side to cause them problems. And as you can see, there's nobody really in those fields to the east. AFI may be the closest, but they're looking around. They're just going to continue going off to the north. No way, starting to creep over in that direction as well. Still interested to see if they were able to get those blue chips if they decide to go for that revive station, get themselves back up to 4 strong. But it's going to be a tough ask, as we see. I think Caution actually calling in the E pickup from Ohyang. Where are they going to go? Are they going to drop on Buksansa? And another, there you go. No way, they actually do get their players back, so they will be back up to 4 strong.
Yeah, the problem is now, where do they land? Because Affinity are probably going to keep an eye on that compound. On the other side is XH4 will get that first knock on the Flashy, and that might just be the signal that Gats needs. And I think that it's really important that VPS just keeps an eye. Yeah, Gats is trying to get aggressive on it. He's got a nade in his hand, and VPS is going to make him punish. Really good cover from the trail player of the Dream 1 side. Badger now will have a peek at what's going on, but for Dream 1, I like that. They put pressure on the HP, but they didn't forget about the fact that Rent Free would probably get aggressive if they got a knock.
Yeah, I mean, this is playing into exactly what Dream 1 wanted to happen here. They just playing that patient game. I hate that this term gets overused so much in so many bad situations, but this is a time when it's working out great for Dream 1. They are ratting the hell out of Buksansa right now and just hiding in corners, waiting for these other teams to make the mistake.
Oro, why do people say ratting is a bad thing? Rats are survivors.
Exactly.
They're
I don't know
survivors.
where, somewhere along the line, Twitch chat determined that rats are bad in PUBG. Like, you're just supposed to W key into every 4-man squad that you see like some kind of idiot. This is a survival game, man. You try to get kills by being the smarter player. Wasn't
it just E United haters that's decided that was a bad thing? Right?
Oh, it's everybody's. Every team at some point has had a hater that said that they were playing like rats, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, like Tiggleton holding the high ground and killing people. Like, oh, he's a rat. He's playing like a rat, even though he's got like 7 kills.
Rats.
Yeah.
7 kills playing from the edge. I can't believe these rats would do this, but it's you know, it wouldn't be PUBG if we didn't have people in there calling every player that's doing well a rat, as we see Pentalol ratting from the top of this rock by shooting off in the distance.
Oh, okay, they'll be like, I can't believe there was a rat over there. But anyways, Dream 1, they're going to keep on the push here against Rent Free, as it looks like Zello's got a good nade on what it takes on that southern side of the circle with Overpowered looking to take the fight to what it takes. Marnes dealt with as Lucas will find that kill. Zello inside the blue, as is fully working the way in. And what about that for a shift for NA, right? They've got Iga holding the compound to the north. Now they've got to decide. You can't play this split forever. You got to make a decision.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. And actually, Caution did decide to go into Buksansa, so that's going to add that additional element. And no way, I thought that they had their 2 guys that were dropping right on top of AFI, but AFI let them live. And so no way manages to get all 4 in, but now they've got another problem as they've got to make their way across this zone. The south side and Buksansa are about to be absolutely brutal here. AFI actually, I would argue, in the best position right now out of everybody.
You know what? You're not wrong. But things can go very wrong for them quickly if all the teams from Buksansa get on the move at the same time. But let's turn our attention to Duel. Fighting on the edge with Last Breath. Last Breath, your current lobby leaders, 37 points on the board, as Overpowered will take out what it takes. The pony, the streamlined angles of it, Poro helping them out. You don't need, there's just more reasons to love that car. I know you're the used car salesman.
You know me, used cars, used dogs, used everything is AFI. Oh, yeah, no way. They came into the wrong neighborhood. AFI in a perfect position to catch No Way before they can react. And all of a sudden, DNL is down to the last player, and he's down to his last 4 HP, and that's going to be it. No Way. They get everybody back up after winning that fight, but in the end, it doesn't end up mattering, and AFI still now has control over this northern side.
25 points on the board for them in the night so far, as they still look to close that gap towards Team Fate and Last Breath. Rotate their way through 2 players alive, and yep, he's got his teammate in the side. He'll try to get him back on his feet, but Iro, Duel. Now fighting, where's that fight? Duel?
They're
Drove by.
everywhere.
It was a drive-by. I think they caught out Rent-Free on the drive-by, Poro.
I think they did. Yeah, I think they did. They passed right through it. Now Woolie's taking a knock as they have found their place to call home, but I Am Bolivia is there. They'll go down. Nice shots from Iro, and they should be able to get Woolie back on his feet, but they do have Last Breath that's creeping around here. Andrew and Blazer down to a duo, and they're going to see if they can maybe capitalize off of this knock.
Yeah, they're stepping up. They need the points. They keep increasing that gap, but Penta was ready. Him and Iro combine. Andreas and Blazer's like, nope.
Nope. See you later.
Yeah. Oh, I might actually get some level 3 gear. Easy. Let's go. Let's fall back. Oh, Last Breath, Poro, 37 points. Athletes of Christ, 22 with 3 players. Make that 2 players up. They are begging the Athletes of Christ get wiped here by Rent-Free.
Oh, Rent-Free very low. Oh my God, Haven just did him dirty. And now the shots coming in from Sweezy from back behind. So Tony will get flushed out. Athletes of Christ are very much pinched here. Doesn't seem like it bothers them at all. Gat's the last player alive here for Rent-Free as Haven has gone down. LFP, the only one left alive, will try to make that push, secure those couple of points. Gat's dancing around the US, trying to avoid getting a hot foot here, and he will end up getting LFP in the end as Athletes of Christ go down in 12th, and now he can at least stop down and heal up. We'll see if FN keeps pushing.
Last Breath, remember, if they win on the night with 2 maps left after this one, they will find themselves qualifying to day 1 of the playoffs. It's the only real way that they could go and do it. So for them, this is the best case scenario. Try to survive now. Get a few extra points as Sweezy and Liel combine. Down drop Z-Repo and Zelo. And down fall overpowered. 10 teams left alive, Poro. And there's the peak on the other side as Gats will manage to get him down to 1 health point. And there's the nade Sweezy in a ton of trouble. But the nade doesn't go far enough.
Oh, it's going just a little bit shy. Good job on Sweezy to keep those happy feet in hand, but Liel just did overpowered dirty, man. He got all 3 of them with that bullet hose in hand, but now they're getting backfilled by Pest Controller, at least one member of Pest Control, Joshi. For nothing, gonna continue to drop down that smoke wall, try to get a little bit closer to Gats to take him out. They know they have him in a 2v1. They've got him up against the tree. Doesn't matter, Gats will get 1. Oh, Sweezy, good cover on his teammate, will take him down in the end.
Yeah, and for nothing now, up to 6 kills on the map, 16 points.
Go rest your teammate, man. What are we doing?
Loot Goblin. Loot Goblin, get all the things. Get the stuff. Leave Liel.
What do you... No! Go get Liel! He's easily resible here.
I think the Titanic music's playing now. The sad flute as he watches his teammate run.
With Josh and Conf just standing there staring menacingly, like I feel like he had an option there. Okay, well, never mind. Liel gonna go down. Sweezy will be the last one up here. As we see New Gen All-Stars, they've kind of taken control over the western side of this circle. You see Iga doing donuts on the north, just making sure that no snakes are in their midst. I think they might have an idea that Blazer is around there somewhere. They just don't know where he is, as Conf has spotted out Tyson just going tree to tree after taking out Sweezy.
Yeah, Sweezy putting in some more confidence, keeping an eye as, oh no, HP, this is not looking good for Lib as he has been downed, and Alka's going to overextend. He turns his whole back to the rest of HP, but because Conf is putting in the work, he's able to do it. Conf will get the kill. Horseplay eliminated. Then there were 6 Blazers still alive as the circle now closes once more. Duel and NA in very good positions. Affinity, the team that we both agreed were in a fantastic spot earlier, Poro, still on the north side of the circle. The problem they have now is they're on the heavier traffic side.
Yeah, I think they've been locked in trying to clean out whatever comes out of Books and Saw. And I'm not sure how many kills they managed to get. They do manage to pick up one there as Caution down to just Alka. But Duel kind of has an angle as well. As we see Pest Control, I was actually kind of worried about Pest Control earlier on in this game. It felt like they were very wide split, and there was a lot of teams kind of making their way into the south side, but they all ended up fighting each other, and Pest Control is just kind of the beneficiary. They do have 3 kills, and they have complete control over the south as Caution does go down in the end. Joshi will be the one that spots out Alka.
19 points now for Pest Control as Duel.
That's the fastest quarter I've ever seen in my life. That thing was moving.
Zooming. Absolutely zooming. You get downhill momentum and then you go and, well, this is not good news for Blazer. Iroh's going to get that knock onto Finn, and well, that's good news for Blazer. He's going to say thank you very much. I'll take that free kill, that extra point, and they move to 41 Faro. Dealt with in the end, but they've extended the gap over FE, right? That's all that they wanted to do, and they've got a 16-point lead with 2 maps to play after this.
Oh, Balefrost coming around at the worst time for AFI. They were all looking down. They had Ego dead to rights, but Balefrost supporting his teammate. They'll take out Mizbo, they'll take out Ducky, and now Zalodi, the last player left alive. Shinboy will try to take that 1v1. Iga did get knocked, and he's going to get flushed as well. So New Gen All-Stars down to 2. The drive-by will secure it, though, and Affinity goes down in 4th place. It's now Duel and Pest Control with a full 4-man squad, and the duo from New Gen All-Stars.
An all-3 North American team for the top 3 teams left alive. Penta knows that Bale's behind the rock, so he is going to very quickly throw that nade over towards the edge of the rock. It'll land close to Bale, but not close enough to do any real telling damage. Pony providing some cover on one side, and with 2 players left up, NA are in a very tricky spot, but I think what NA really need is for Pest Control to be the team that bring the fight to Duel. And I don't really think Pest Control are in any rush to do that right now.
No, they have no reason to, right? Like, they have this entire south side, so Duel, and the good thing for Duel is that they've got Iroh that's been left behind, kind of watching down towards the south. Now, he's going to hear Conf and Hot and Spicy, and yes, shots from Wooly, so they do have eyes on where Pest Control is, but Pest Control will take up a little bit more territory there, but right now, Duel can afford to just kind of keep all eyes down here towards Balefrost and Shinboy.
Conf keeping an eye as he moves up with Hot and Spicy on the edge as they try to take control of the circle. Probably the worst shift it could have been for NA as the New Gen All-Stars will bring the fight now to Kane. Remember, Duel with 4 players strong now. That's a good predict. You don't need. He thought that Bale was going to keep on moving towards the edge, so he threw the nade that direction. More utility being thrown, but Duel know that they need to win this fight quickly, because if New Gen All-Stars can extend this fight, if they can get a couple of knocks, it puts the game on a platter for Pest Control. So you really got to clean this up quickly if you're Duel, or back off and hope for something else to happen. And look at the way Pest Control are moving. They're taking control of the circle while these 2 teams try to take control of the edge.
Yeah, Duel kind of being stretched in too many directions right now. I think they may have lost track exactly of where this duo from New Gen is. You see Wooly kind of making his way over there. They're trying to spot each other out over those ridge lines, over those hills. I think Wooly may have an idea where those guys are, but New Gen All-Stars, they read that. They're going to hop back in the vehicle, go reposition once again, or are they just going to try to keep pushing? They are. They're going to push right into Wooly, and Wooly is on the clock here. He's going to use that tree to hide behind, and New Gen All-Stars just continue their path down to the south. They're going to be right in the middle of Pest Control.
Once again, the sleek, smooth lines of the Pony providing great cover for the players on the rotate as the speed allows them to escape and get themselves into cover here, Paro, and find themselves another rock that they can play off. But now the problem is, when you get so close together, one good bit of utility could be curtains, but that knock from Shinboy is so bad for Duel. Kane's going to get smoked out, but this is delivering the game, like I said, on a platter to Pest Control. They're going to still wait. We're still going to put the pressure on, but Hot and Spicy, Paro, he's gone all the way north. He's going to loot Goblin up by these crates and this rock, and they're just putting the pince on.
Yeah, that's. I think that's exactly what Pest Control is doing. They can't. They know they're too far away. They're not in really a position to capitalize off of that knock. So instead, they'll use that opportunity to stretch out and take multiple angles into where they know that Duel is hiding. Shinboy's still alive, no helmet to speak of. And they are alive by the grace of the smoke as another couple of shots come in. There you go. He will go down. And Pental actually finding Hot and Spicy as well. So Hot and Spicy tried to go for that northern flank angle, gets caught out, and now Duel is able to get the res. They're back up to full strong.
Yeah, 4v3v1 now is Duel.
Oh my god,
a really good opportunity, and Balefrost is going to delete Joshy. Conf now putting the pressure on, but Balefrost swinging the momentum back in favor of Duel. Now Duel need to be quick. Do not let Pest Control get that res, but that's exactly what Conf might be considering doing. But K-Mind needs to hold back Penta here, Paro. Yes, Pest Control don't have the numbers, but they have the circle. But K-Mine is the key. He's the player that's got to hold back Duel, and I think he's made the first error. He's let Wooly get in behind him.
Yeah, they know exactly where he is, but he's all by himself. Conf was going for the res at the time, so Conf immediately back in the vehicle will go and reposition a little bit farther west. They're going to see if he can maybe catch Wooly out in the seat swap or playing around the rock, see if he can get a better position. But Wooly with that Groza in hand is going to be really hard to get rid of, as he's got that hard cover and he's got support from Kine and Pentalol at range.
Yeah, now Conf has got to throw out some smokes to give himself a little bit more cover, but with that Groza, Wooly becomes a real problem for Conf on that side. K-Mine continuing to try to just blind off one angle, make it so that he can't get pushed. They want to deal with Wooly. They know this is a solo player for Duel, and that grenade is good. That grenade opens up the rest of the fight. 3v3, Paro, and you're not going to get a res on the Wooly, and that knock on to Kane. K-Mine is on fire.
What an absolutely perfectly cooked grenade from K-Mine. Now, Joshi will get taken down by Iro, so this turns it into a full 2v2. Iro with that southern angle, Pentalol off to the east. Wooly going to feed information over as much as he can. He's going to let them know exactly where K-Mine and Conf are, so they've got him pinned down. Wooly will get flushed out in the end. Iro, though, gets the angle, gets K-Mine low. Are they in grenade range? K-Mine, he's going to lose the 1v1 as Pentalol was right on top of the rock with him.
Yeah, Conf wasn't close enough to help, and Conf will get cleaned up. Duel win, 13 kills, 23 points, and they move up to
3K
second
damage
on the night in Paro. 3k damage, but that puts the heat on the last breath as well. Remember, the winner of tonight will get a direct spot into the playoffs, but if Athletes of Christ win, or even New Gen All-Stars win on the night, we will see the team in third or second place get that spot in the playoffs. Well, look, we'll talk more about it in a few minutes, but let's regroup on that game in particular. Strong start by some teams, Paro, but in the end, Duel looked really good.
It's fighting in the hills, man. It's so difficult, and this is honestly, you know, we were talking earlier about how Duel and they've been around forever, and it feels like, you know, we 2 years ago this would have been a cracked roster. Well, this is what I was talking about. When they're on, they look so good, and when you get them into that late game scenario, that is where all the mechanics and all the experience really shine. Duel just absolutely stranglehold there, and in the end, I mean, you got to see a little bit of both of it, right? Like the big wide spread, being able to kind of take Pest Control by surprise, and then just the straight up mechanics. Pentalol crashing a rock and winning a 1v1 against K-Mine. What is it, 2018?
Yeah, and you know what I love most about it? They didn't try to solve every problem at once. They took that fight one problem at a time, right? K-Mine was a problem for them. What did they do? They sent Wooly behind K-Mine to force the rest of Pest Control to look towards him. Yes, they got the knock on the Wooly, but then that allowed Penta to get up close and personal and win the Battle of the Rock. Like, they said, basically, one problem at a time. Let's solve the Penta problem. Let's solve the Conf problem. They did it really well. They get the win, and it puts them in the second place on the night, Paro. And a little bit of a buffer in between Last Breath and Athletes of Christ as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is where it's going to get interesting, right? Like, if Last Breath wins this tonight, week 5, then they get the free pass to day 1 of the playoffs. They'll join Athletes of Christ, who won week 4, and then beyond that, it'll be the top 6 in terms of overall points. Correct? Mm-hmm. So yep. that is who we'll see on day 1 of PAS playoffs. That'll be joining the 5 regional partner teams and the 3 global partner teams, and then from that point on, it's the next 8 up in line. That's who will get to play on day 2 and get the shot at qualifying through day 2 and day 3 if they're not able to make top 5 in day 2. And then the rest of the teams that come through, there you go. We see the overall leaderboard as it stands right now, all the way down to 20. Those will be I think it's, who is it? It's 16 through 20. It's the last 5 teams on the leaderboard will play on day 3. They'll have one chance, one day of 5 games to make the top 3 to make it to the PAS Grand Final. Yeah,
and the chances are it might even extend down to the 21st spot, Paro, after this week gets the win. But the reason Athletes of Christ are in goal is not because they're top of the leaderboard, but it's because they are 100% guaranteed.
They're in.
Yeah, they're in. They won last week. They're in. Whoever wins this week will join them. So if it's a team that are on the wrong side of the leaderboard that aren't playing in day 3, they'll leapfrog up, and then everybody will drop down one spot. And Paul, remember we were talking about the push up to get from day 3 into day 2. It looks like we've seen a little bit of movement there, right? Rent Free, they're on 12th now. They've jumped on up now with all those games played. Like, some teams are at real risk of dropping into the 3rd day. Like Chupinski's Collector, they could drop very easily.
They could, and keep in mind, Last Breath, they're currently in 1st place today. If they're able to hold on here with 2 games remaining, they'll secure their spot into day 1. So that'll make things a little bit more interesting. But for Last Breath to come from, I think they started the day in 11th place overall in terms of the aggregate rankings. If they win today and secure their spot, like, that would be a huge come up for them.
It will, and there's just 2 games left to decide who's going to make it. So, Carl, I think we should jump into a very quick break before we get ready to jump on over to Rondo for the last time in the Cups. But we will see you guys in a few. Don't go anywhere. Get hydrated. We'll be right back. And we are back, everyone, with the final PAS Cup. It's week 5, map 4, so almost at the very end, Paul. You'd nearly say we're at the final straight. See who's going to get there.
Yeah, well, we'll say my favorite term, the penultimate game of the week 5 playoffs here, or finals here. But yeah, I mean, I think Athletes of Christ kind of doing everybody a little bit of a favor here by they're playing their normal game. Like, they're still getting points, but they're not winning, and they're not just dominating the way that they have in the past few weeks. And so that's kind of opened the door here for a team like Last Breath. Like, I think right now, the thing I worry the most about for Last Breath is that they play safe, right? And they think, oh my God, we're in first. Like, if we can hold on to this, we got the, and it's true, you do. But anytime teams have that leading spot and they decide to start playing safe, it's almost a universal fact that they end up getting past.
Oh, 100%. The minute you play like defensive style of play over an offensive one, when that's where you make your money, it's a little bit different. But you know, we're saying, oh, they're not playing, they're in 3rd place on the night. They're still more than comfortably finishing top of the cups and getting most of that prize pool. Like, it is 5 weeks in of these cups, and they have been, I'll say, dominant for like 15 and really good for 10. Like, they are in a spot where they didn't even need a good night to still finish on top.
Yeah, I mean, they coming into today, they'd won 3 of 4 weeks, wasn't it? Like, I think they only lost the 1 week, and that was the week that was it No Way, or was it that one that one?
It was What It Takes.
What It Takes. Yeah, What It Takes is first week where they came in and just kind of put everybody on notice. But yeah, no, I mean, Athletes of Christ, they're good to go. Like they have nothing to worry about. They're just playing for vibes here at this point. But as a result, it's kind of opening up the lobby a little bit more. So. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of movement, a lot of motion up and down on that leaderboard, and who is going to finish where and where they will join us when it comes to the PAS playoffs, whether it's day 1, 2, or 3, all of that, a lot of spots still up for grabs.
Yeah, and it's a fun format. Like, I like it. Playoffs and the finals, back to playoffs, back to finals. Like, at the end of the day, you're not just playing for one set of playoffs here, you're playing for 2. So wherever you finish in this cup is your starting point for the next 2 sets of playoffs. And Poro, Rondo is a map where we see teams' fortunes change significantly. It's the turning point. It's still, you know, we're talking tonight about phrases we hate, and you know, you're talking about ratting was a phrase that we hated, or yes, I think calling it a wild card map. I hate calling it now because it has been in the scene for a while.
Yeah.
But it does still really feel like the map where, I guess when you think about the way a lot of games play out, Rondo is a map where really good positioning in phase 1 and 2 seems to help teams way more than maybe on some of the other maps.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that. That seems fair. Actually, we see X10 and I am Bolivia dropping near each other into Neox Factory. Now, this is a spot where you see teams share loot all the time. I think that's maybe just Cloudera saying hello, a friendly hello with bullets. But no, I think I think you're right. Like, you know, C1, C2 doesn't seem to matter as much on other maps because there's, you know, the hard shifts come into play so often, and everybody just knows the rotation path so well. That it just becomes kind of a moot point. But Rondo, it's a little bit more open when it comes to your paths that you can decide to take and how to avoid other teams, or how to position yourself where you can catch a team that's kind of unawares. And we saw it kind of the same bit on Tego, that southeastern part of the map on Tego specifically. You know, you could be right on top of another team instantly without even knowing it. And Rondo, it kind of feels there's parts of this map that are the same way.
Yeah, and there's parts you don't want to be. Like, look at the circle that we have now. You've got those fields south of Stadium where the bamboo fields are. That's not a great place to be, right? Like, it's open fields, it's terrain. Like, there's a lot of areas, Paro, in this circle that we have right now where you don't really, even though if you just show this overview to like somebody who's never played the game, like, oh, that's a great spot. You look at it and go, yeah, no, you don't want to be there in this map.
Well, and you know, there's a counter argument to that, right? Like, even a spot that looks just absolutely awful in C4 or C5 looks fantastic when it comes to like C6 or 7, right? It's
a home.
It really is. It's you know, there's certain spots that you know, dips and ridges that you can play around in the late game that you just don't want to go there too early because you just become mortar bait, right? So it's timing comes into play a lot when you're deciding on where to play from on this map in the late game.
So what you're kind of saying is, like, a BMW might look cheap in Hollywood, but somewhere else it's a damn nice car. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like what they said is a Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom until a Phantom rolls up, you know, like it looks like a bad spot until C7 comes around, and all of a sudden that ridgeline looking really, really juicy. So I don't know. We'll see where the circles decide to take us in the end. Already, right off the bat, we got a couple of pickups popped, so we'll see if those get actually taken. It actually looks like No Way didn't take theirs. And it looks like Duel, they're just going to send Iro up to scout in his. And then we have a third one now popped, and that's going to be FN way off to the east. I imagine that they will probably lock in and take that one.
Yeah, I think No Way didn't take it because basically we talk about timers, like we talk about it every week. These pickups, you can't call in 5 in a row, right? They kind of run on independent timers. Yep. See those little spires, those glass towers? The reason these are being called in and not used is because players don't want other teams going there. It's kind of as simple as that.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Like, you're trying to avoid having anybody play on those high ground positions. Like we did see that last night in PGS. We saw T1, and actually the game ended around that, and it was actually really, really crazy. It was a little bit more on the eastern side of Rondo than the west, but you could see the kind of insanity that ensues when you have that high ground in play and a team that's up there just by being up there. They don't even have to be like constantly pressuring or shooting at you, but the fact that they're up there and you know that they're up there just has such an impact on how you're able to make movement and rotations around the map.
And the later the game that they're in the circle, the more of a problem it becomes, because what was initially a long range fight or you pushing someone else's, I can't fight this team because if I extend out, I'm going to get shot from up here. Like, so Iro takes this spot, right? Theoretically, as right now, this is fine for NA. They can rotate past. It'll be really difficult for Iro to get a knock. But say as we get later in the game, another team's here, another team, all those teams suddenly become free points for duel. Like free steals, free kills, and free information.
Yeah, and that's the biggest part right now, right? Like, I would not be surprised if Iro doesn't take a single shot while he's up here. I mean, first of all, you got a level 1 helmet. Like, that's not ideal. You don't have the deployable shield to stack up there either. Right now, he's just up here temporarily just to scout, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's letting his team know that compound is completely free and open right now, and he's going to ping it, and now it's up to Wooly to decide whether or not he wants to take the rest of the squad there.
Well, the only thing is with the M24, he knows that if he hits a headshot, you can flush that out quickly. New Gen All-Stars?
Depends on how greedy you want to be.
It's Iro. Has Iro ever turned down a free kill in his life?
That's fair. That's fair. Well, he also knows that Horseplay is right underneath him, and if they start actually scrapping with New Gen All-Stars, Iro might actually be in a good spot to steal some of those points away. As you see, yep, the rest of Duel will decide to take that compound that Iro was able to spot out. And Wooly, I think the trailing member here, make sure you park those in the corners, chat. You want to protect your tires. Santahiro, Viri's just had a rough day here. He has not been able to survive very late, it seems.
He hasn't, but Fryan Bolivia, it's been an okay day, right? They're in 6th place, 19 points. Yeah. Like, they've got themselves, I think they're into day 3 now of the playoffs at the very minimum, so it ain't a bad spot to be in, but we will see our first player fall on the night, and our first player fall on the map. But Faro, looking at the map feed, I think everybody, bar what it takes, has made their way into the first circle with 2 minutes to spare before it closes and becomes phase 2. Like, most teams have rotated early and got themselves somewhere to call home.
Sure, yeah, and at the end of the day, it looks like FN decided not to take that E-pick up and instead are coming in slow on that south side, and as a result, the entire northwestern side of this circle, all the way into Jiaotin, completely empty. Like, we're seeing giant swaths of these C1s that are completely unoccupied just because of how teams are rotating in. The spots that they decide to play are the spots that they're forced to play based on who they run into when they're in the middle of making their moves. So you see AM Bolivia, they wrapped around, they're staying in test track. X10, after stealing one away, will continue to make their way in.
Right thing to do. Like, you got the res station that you can use there as well, so you can get everybody back in play. Crizzen, he's going to come under a little bit of fire from Slabby, who's had some really nice moments. Oh, LFP. It's like that seated Scarface at the very end. Spoil, actually, no, should I? Is it too soon? I can give spoiler. I can give spoilers for Scarface.
From the 80s? Yeah, sure.
He's gone. He gets out. He's seen the film before. He's turned his back, but he's got out of there.
He's
Good
sure.
film, by the way. You should watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely check that one out if you've never heard about it before. This indie flick called Scarface. Maybe you could find it on Amazon. Who knows?
It's got this up and coming actor in it called Al Pacino.
Yeah. He's very gangster. Well, okay, hot and spicy. I was gonna say he's very Italian, but in Scarface he's not very Italian. He's actually Cuban. So I don't know, whatever. But so it's kind of funny. Like, we're seeing it says C1 teams are still finding position, but they're also running into each other early on here. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, Tyson's probably surprised that he didn't get that knock either. By the way, that was dead to right. Yeah, on Blazer, he's going to toss the nade, but Last Breath cannot afford give up any knocks whatsoever, right? 41 points, climb that leaderboard, stay on top, get yourself into day one of the playoffs. Looks like another E pickup. Oro's gonna be sent on by as NA have a good spot in the circle. OP very close to rent-free, just south of Zhao. But look at all those players starting to converge onto just that southwestern corner.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the fact that that northwestern side was so open. Well, I think everybody's got the book is open on how these circles usually play out on Rondo, and everybody already took their spots, assuming they knew where the heat map would take them, and only a few teams really going to have to be making any serious moves. No Way being one of them. They're going right through the middle here. So far, nobody even shooting at them. That's just how the terrain works around here. No angles to be found. X10, meanwhile, they're going to do the same thing, but unfortunately for them, at least K-Mind has eyes, but the shots are going to come through. Oh, he actually got the tire. He spinned him out. It's not the hero. Oh, it's not the hero. You're in trouble.
K, you got to hit those.
No. Oh, he's doing donuts out there. Oh, there we go. One hit. Hey, Conf actually going to be the one now. Okay. Oh, no, he ran out of ammo and he couldn't even flush it. Oh, you hate to see it.
It's fine. Look, Conf, you know when sometimes you need like a brother to be there to be like, it's okay. I got you. I got you. Conf basically said, K-Mine, stop. I got this. Jam, he's going to get some work done for rent-free. The crash comes in from X10. Calnix will suffer the first blow. Jam, that's not the right spot to look, as he is going to get absolutely deleted. Athletes of Christ are pushing in here as well, as Haven finds a ton of damage. Poro, everybody wants the bodega.
They sure do, and it's an X10. Even though they're down to a duo, this is I don't want to say easier to hold as a duo, but it's not that bad. Rent-free actually getting eliminated there by a combination of Overpowered and Athletes of Christ and X10. Like it felt like almost a dead center circle, but they get surrounded on all sides. That is one of the problems with having that great position in C1, is that now you have to defend yourself from everywhere.
Yeah, and it looks like they're more than likely going to be on day 2 now. I don't think there's any way they can force themselves into day 1, but Athletes of Christ, your gold lobby leaders, they'll smoke off the top of the bodega, they'll start pushing in, and for X10, this could lead to trouble. First nade's going to get thrown up onto that balcony, and it's going to go a little bit too deep. Does a bit of damage onto Franks. The BZ, though, Horo, that's perfect. He's landed it on the stairwell, and that should encompass all of this bodega.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
actually
no, it bounced a bit.
Yeah, it bounced away. Yeah, it baited you. It baited you into thinking it was perfect.
Aww.
Well, Franks will survive here at least a little bit longer as Athletes of Christ wait for the smokes to dissipate. And kind of surprising that Overpowered hasn't decided to get over here and get involved. And it looks like Athletes of Christ, they know to avoid those lines of sight just in case that Overpowered looks over in this direction. Although LFP just seems to be running at this one crazy. He gets the Panzerfaust kill, somehow doesn't kill himself. I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, he was kind of shocked. It seemed like that was more of a surprise than anything.
Yeah, he did not expect the guy to be prone at his feet, and I think he's lucky that Panzer shot didn't down himself either. As Franks tries to hold the high ground, he's going to try to blow up the Blanco now as well to maybe do some collateral damage, and it does blow. And Poro, is it vaultable? Is Franks stuck in this position, or can it be breached? Is this like one of those situations that we get in the bunkers back on Erangel?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. We'll see how it plays out. And the bigger question: how long until OP decides to come over here and get involved in this?
I'm thinking OP. Are they not long? they're having a think. Repo's already there. He's already having a look. The Athletes of Christ, they want to deal with this. I think that they are struggling a little bit with that Blanco. I think it is just perfectly. It is. Yeah, look. Is there space by the stairs on the other side? No, there is space. There's a little space.
Go ahead.
Good shots.
All right, it's all flashbangs now as Franks just continues to be a thorn in the side of Athletes of Christ, and now Overpowered. They're starting to leave their compound, slowly taking positions up around this. You can see it just on your mini map as no shots have come in just yet, but they're definitely closing the fist down onto this spot as Athletes of Christ. This getting rid of Franks has kind of put them in a tough spot here.
Yeah, there might be a point where they're starting to not see the forest
right,
through the
there you
trees,
go.
and that's exactly what happens. They were way too focused on one. They didn't forget about the rest, or they forgot about the rest of the lobby, and overpowered now. Going to close that gap. Big opportunity to wipe out FE as things stand, and it's going to get tossed deep. It's going to land nowhere near close enough, but oh, look how quickly Fana has already got one res off. He eats a headshot, and he's going to fall up, and it's going to get caught on the other side again. This is really good play from these two teams pushing on to the Athletes of Christ.
Yeah, overpowered, showing a lot of patience in pulling in on that fight as Tony barely gets the 1v1 win with 3 HP remaining, and he's just going to pre-fire. It doesn't matter. Lucas will take him down in the end, and Repo should be able to get back on his feet as they were also able to get rid of Franks. So well done by Overpowered there. They are now up to 6 kills, and they have the entire north side to themselves.
Is 22 points too far away for them now, Poro? With this and one more game left to play, they might just get themselves in on the performance on one day alone. Pest Control, they've got themselves near the center of the circle. Look at Duel. Iro has now come down from his glass tower, and he will rejoin the rest of his team on the northeastern side of the zone. Looks like Danny still doing some work for LB as they've got a really good opportunity to close the gap. And if I'm not wrong, Poro, if Duel come first and Last Breath comes second or even third, as long as it is like a Pest Control or an FE, they might get that automatic qualification spot the day one, because finishing first today, if a team's already qualified or in that spot, might just pass it down one more. No, it has to be the Athletes of Christ to come first. They're the team that has to come first to the team that comes second to get that spot.
Yeah. I mean, winning gets you in regardless. And then once you get your 2 winners, it's just going to be the next 6 in terms of overall point standings. So Duel, I mean, they're currently in for day one regardless, but it'll have impact down the leaderboard if they're able to take this over. But Last Breath, they're still in it, man. They still have 4 alive. They're playing safe, but they're still being smart about it, right? They've already got 1 kill. They've got that western side. They're holding what it takes at the south end of their push right now. Meanwhile, this fight has been brewing for what seems like forever for nothing, and New Gen All-Stars Ego will get flushed out, and now that is going to be, I believe, a 3v3.
Yeah, and you can see that Finna is peeking over the edge. That's a good defensive nade. Finds 79 damage onto Finna. Takes him out of the fight for just a moment as he'll be forced to pop a first aid. Pest Control on the other hand are getting pushed now by OP as we get a bit of drive-by action, hot and spicy, proving a little bit too much for the taste buds of Fully. He's going to get dealt with. Conk, though, caught out on a drive-by of outplayed overpowered zone. Damage being dealt on both sides. Both teams suffering major casualties here as Zello's going to get hit now for a lot of damage. K-Mind steps up to the fray. He'll get one and leaves it all down to Luke as he's driving by as well. We got ourselves some like GTA-style drive-by action here, Paro.
Oh, this is brutal out in the middle of the open fields. Overpowered. It's, I think, down to a 2v1. 1 left alive for OP, and that's going to be Lucas, who's still driving around. They're going to see if they can maybe stick that res while he's there. But now you got another thing happening here. Duel in horseplay. Tyson has been taken down, so Libmax is the last player left alive. He's got no helmet. He's got no chance, you have to think, as the rest of Duel is going to arrive. Lucas down to just 19 HP. There you go. Penta will finish off horseplay as they'll go down in 12th place, and Lucas now just gonna pop the smokes, try to heal up and survive a little bit longer, but Wooly has eyes.
Yeah, getting a little scary for Last Breath. Yes, they still hold top spot, but you don't want to see Duel keeping all 4 players up and continuing to add to their points tally. Bad news for your lobby leaders. K-Mind, he is down, but he's being brought back into the circle as the ambulance will bring him in, but Joshy comes under heavy fire.
Oh,
and Lucas,
Joshy.
it's Lucas. What are you jumping out for there, Penta? That's a bad spot, but thankfully, Lucas was not looking this way. He goes down to the blue. 10 teams left alive, Paro, and Pest Control somehow keeping 3 players up.
Oh, they get so lucky right there. The blue zone has arrived, though. They've got to get back on the move. K-Mind already on the run, just smoking things down as they are on the long side. The blue zone has stopped, so they will get a little bit of a chance to reset here, although Caution kind of has eyes over in this direction. They're taking shots, but Caution now getting shot in the back by AFI. So the hard shift down to the south, that's going to be bad news for a lot of these teams. The only team still in it is what's left of New Gen All-Stars, What It Takes, FN, and then our solo player from Dream 1, XH, once again, all by himself.
Yeah, XH, he's been he's been alone a lot. Someone should check in to see if he's okay. You know, loneliness is not a great thing for poor XH. But Poro, more importantly, he's still alive. He's still in it. He's hopefully not too far away from picking up points. His biggest problem is whatever Duel decide to do, really.
It is. Well, New Gen All-Stars, we saw them just driving with reckless abandon across the field, and what it takes. Had eyes on that, and for nothing as well, but they're going to go ahead and retreat back to their little hidey hole here, play around the mortar, the one vehicle that they have. Surprisingly, have not been mortared just yet. Usually this spot gets absolutely peppered, but nobody really having time to stop down and take those mortar shots as it stands, as Pest Control try to make their move, but unfortunately for them, no way they had eyes on that, so K-Mine will get taken down and flushed out. Duel also trying to do the same. Looks like Duel has a little bit better shot here, though, as they try to come in from the direct east.
Oro, I might be going crazy. We've had 4.5 maps. Oh, sorry, 3.5 maps. Have we seen a single BRDM tonight?
We have not. That I can recall anyway. Yeah, it feels like BRDMs were looming so large. At least today in PGS, they were all over the place. They were everywhere, and nothing yet so far here today that I can recall anyway.
It's like the old days. We're like back in the old days, as Lopez is going to back himself up a little bit too far and put himself in the eyes of an old set of eyes, as Hot and Spicy and team look that way, as Pest Control try to put some work in. Jean Gardau. Sounds like a chef's name, doesn't it? Chef Jean Gardau tries to cook up a perfect nade.
He's cooking up a nice spray there too over on Mizbo, as AFI just trying to survive a little bit longer. Caution, we haven't really been talking about them too much. For them, have had a pretty decent day. 12 points overall, 2 kills so far in this game. They might be able to add a few more to it. Yep, up there you go. 4 now in total for Caution, and they have kind of control over this northern side. If they can deal with No Way here, they might be in a good spot. But no, Joshy, as the angles and our hot chef Jean Gardau is going to go down. Oh no, got him a little too hot in the kitchen for him there, as he will get shot down by Pest Control. And now Noe will look at the way. Could you say that? Another hard shift. Were they like Ratatouille and Pest Control came in and dealt with them? A little bit. I think that was more. That was just rude from Pest Control. Like they were out in the blue. They had nothing. Oh my goodness. No way is just dismantling Caution now, and Jean Godal, the last player left alive. The rest of No Way, they're going to make the push in, get in throwables range. Don't think he's going to be much longer for this world, if No Way has their way about things, and then they'll have control over the north side. And Duel actually starting to creep over in this direction as well. Right there. He is right there. What are we doing? Slabby. Is there smoke that I can't see? Are we X-ray? What are we doing? I don't know. Maybe it has to be a PU. This is not going well at all. DNL will confirm that one out. Jean Gardau still alive, still using the Blanco for some cover. Stone Grenade's going to make sure that all he can see is white. He'll step over. DNL gets it done. Caution eliminated. Paro. 6 teams left alive. Yeah, and No Way, that might be too little too late, because the blue is starting to creep in. Duel is in a perfect position to look over here as well. They got that knock onto Slabby, and now Lopez and DNL have to make a push, but Duel, all 4 members looking over in this direction, and it looks like Last Breath might be looking as well, as again now Last Breath, we talked about they need to keep performing today if they're going to secure that first place spot, and they are doing exactly what they need to. Yeah, but Duel are just keeping close enough. 3 points now is the gap between Duel and Last Breath, and this is really Last Breath's only chance of getting in to day 1 of the playoffs. Remember, the higher up you finish, the more chances you get, the more playoff days that you get the opportunity to compete in to make it to PAS. DNL will just go pro. No Way on 33 points. A great night for them so far, but Paro, are they running out of momentum as well? And they're kind of pushed to get to that 100-point mark. They might be. Still 1 game left to play, so still got a lot left on the line, but I think you're absolutely right. The battle right now that's got to be on everybody's mind is Duel and Last Breath. Duel, they've done enough over the 5 weeks of PAS Cups to qualify via aggregate score, but Last Breath has not. If Last Breath doesn't qualify for the playoffs day 1 on this, they're going to be forced to play day 2, you'd have to imagine, on the aggregate point total. So they've definitely need to win today a lot more than Duel does.
Yeah, I think if you really look into it, if Last Breath win tonight, they go straight to day 1. If Duel win tonight, does that mean that Team Fate, even if they get passed by No Way, would probably get in just by virtue of everything dropping down 1 extra place? Like,
oh, that's a great question. Next question. I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be a lot of movement up and down. We'll make sure we get this all sorted out whenever all 5 games are done, but there's so many moving parts going on right now between teams that are playing, teams that are not playing, the impact that having a new weekly winner would have on that top 8, the leaderboard. So it's just so much left to be determined here. As we see Last Breath, they're starting to come alive though. They're getting kills onto What It Takes.
Yeah, What It Takes under a lot of pressure. Finna steps on up, What It Takes fall down, and it's Last Breath that managed to steal 2 of those kills away.
Huge.
Kane is going to get knocked as well, so Last Breath finding a knock on the Duel helps their chances even more. Duel now, look at their position, far side of the circle, so you'd expect that the reses should be able to come through, but with 5 teams left alive, everybody garnering way more placement points. And the scary thing about this is the win on this map, if it goes either way towards LB or Duel, if it's either of those 2 teams, puts a massive swing in on the leaderboard.
Absolutely does. And Last Breath doing what they can. They had that high ground. They're doing it as a 2-2 split as well, and actually getting paid off, doing a really good job of not overcommitting to either fight, but being in perfect position to capitalize off of any knocks. As you see Pendulol, he knows where DNL is, but DNL doing his best to just snake against that ground and not reveal himself at all, try to survive a little bit longer. But Finna gonna get the knock onto Arv, and that will be 1 Last Breath player down.
Everybody's taking shots at everybody. Shinboy now hits 48 damage onto Iroh as he tries to fire another round through the smoke.
Andrew
Neil stepped out to try to get the knock, and Andrew's going to get the angles. He steps up. Basically, this is a massive game of whack-a-mole between 4 different teams. Every time somebody overextends Paro, they're getting knocked back down.
Absolutely getting punished. And the funny part about this is FN is just kind of sitting down there in that dip, not being able to be seen by anybody. They're just surviving until the late game, and so far it's working. It looks like Sweezy might have creeped up there to see if he could catch New Gen All-Stars while they had a knock, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. So New Gen continue playing along this roadside. They've got a lot of room to work around. Where's the next circle going to go? Who will have to move? DNL, that's about the only one, and then New Gen All-Stars might be in a little bit of trouble. We'll see if Last Breath can get that res onto Danny here.
Yeah, I think he's a bit away, but they might just go for it. But you spoke about FN are kind of unbothered, flourishing in their own lane, you know, enjoying life as things stand, because nobody can push them without getting into the line of fire of somebody else. Finna confirms out that kill on to Last Breath. That's huge for Duel as they reduce the gap to 5 points once more. Iroh takes a lot of damage from DNL. He's just popping up every once in a while and putting some pressure onto Iroh. 9 kills for Duel though, Paro. Like, this last 2 maps, they've really stepped up their game.
Yeah, huge game, huge day for Duel altogether. And to just, again, it just goes to show when you have that one good game, it is so much easier to chain it together with another good game. And Duel proving that once again here is Last Breath still, they all have to be concerned. Everybody, Duel and Last Breath, concerned with DNL. And I think it was actually DNL that caused, look at that, he's going to get another knock. Gets another knock on a Blazer. He is causing so many problems. There you go, Last Breath. Wolf Flare. DNL actually going to finally go down to Andrew. Andrew stepping up in a big way for his team here. 3 kills on the board. They did lose Danny, and that might have been as a result of DNL just being a problem.
Yeah, DNL has been a problem, and now this is bad for FN as New Gen All-Stars smoke out the ridge line, and they're making their push towards the side. Now, Iroh has to be careful. If I'm Duel, I'm fully focused on Last Breath. Andrew gets the knock on to Wooly. That's a problem. Sweezy's going to find Shin as the other 2 teams go head-to-head, and the Beelfrost should not be able to push down this hill, and he's not going to be allowed to. He falls at the hands of FN, And by FN winning that fight, it now enables Duel and Last Breath to go head-to-head, and it might just put FN in a great spot for the win.
Oh, and now FN, they're starting to get a little bit more active. They're going to find Arv. Blazer's going to go down as well as Last Breath. They are not going to survive this one, but they have to become the biggest FN fans in the world right here. They cannot have Duel winning this one, but Duel will take them down. And now they are just exerting their influence on FN. They know exactly where these guys are. They're going to have to leave that spot eventually. And another knock coming in. Big nade, and now Penta is just going to crash in, and that is pretty much academic. Duel will take another win here, back to back for the boys in blue.
They'll also take top spot away from Last Breath by 3 points. Poro. Duel now hold the keys to the kingdom for Last Breath. They know what it means. One more map, one more chance to get into day 3, but Duel coming up in a big way. And Poro, when you think about where all that started for Duel, Iro getting on top of the glass tower early on, feeding information to his team, giving them information the spot was clear, and then just steamrolling everybody on their way into the zone in the late game.
Oh man, they're just winning fights right now too. Like, they are looking so good, so confident when pushing into another team. They're not overextending. If they're taking knocks, they're not getting immediately flushed. Like, their positioning has just been fantastic. Iro, Mr. Aggression, is being a little bit more holding back a little bit. Like, he's staying aggressive, but he's also not overextending himself. So everything is just clicking for Duel right now, and you gotta feel for Last Breath a little bit here, because they did everything right. Like, they played that game very, very nicely. It's not like they were being overly defensive or too cautious. Like, they got to the late game with 4 up. They were looking good, and in the end it didn't matter. Duel just a freight train right now.
Yeah, 24 more points to the tally for them. Last Breath, like, again, 13 points is good. They're playing well. The problem is Duel are just playing better at this point in time. Looking elsewhere, not really the best game from the Athletes of Christ. 2 points on the board for them. I am Bolivia as well. They drop a donut. I think that means that they're not really in with a chance now of joining the playoffs at day 2. They probably will join us on day 3. But for Poro, for the teams that are not in the kind of picture yet, like for Horseplay, I think the only way they make playoffs now is if they win the last map.
Yeah, no, these it's when it comes to the overall aggregate leaderboard, which we'll keep an eye on. You got one game left, right? Like, you've got to just throw all caution to the wind, take those high risk, high reward plays. It's either going to pay off or it's not. Like, just, you don't want to go out thinking like, what if we had done this differently, right? Like, what if we had been just a little bit more aggressive and try to go for kills a little bit more? So one opportunity, one shot left for these guys. What are you going to do with it?
Seize everything you've ever wanted. One moment, you might even say, Poro.
Mom spaghetti.
Oh, I think with that note, it's probably time to jump into a quick break. We'll be right back. And it is time, the final map of the final cup, to work out who the final teams are going to be to take part into the playoffs. I was trying to find more finals that I could get in there, Poro, other than the fact
lot of finality.
Yeah, but I guess the finals of PGS are tomorrow too, if you're interested in that kind of thing. But Poro, we're going to find out now what the future holds for most of these teams, and I think the big question is, can Last Breath overcome the 3-point deficit to get the automatic qualification to the first day of the playoffs, or will we see a team like Team Fate get gifted a huge present in the scale of things with someone like Athletes of Christ, or even Duel winning tonight?
Just a lot riding on this one, and if you're tuning in, there's so much stuff is going to be in moving parts, so many moving parts. Let's focus on one thing right off the bat. Let's focus on Duel versus Last Breath in this final game, because if Last Breath can outscore Duel and take over that first place spot, they guarantee that they take their spot into the first day of play. Or can Duel hold on and continue their just reign of terror that they've had so far here today, and just kind of break their dreams of getting in on day one?
I love it, right? Like, normally in other sports, it's like you want to be playing deep into the playoffs. No, and in this you want one day in the playoffs and you want gone. You want to play on the first day, get top 8, go to the PAS finals and be happy with it. That's kind of where things are. But it's been a fun night, right? Because a lot of teams that have been, I'm going to say, good over the course of the last few weeks have been really good tonight. They've stepped up their game big time going into the final week.
Yeah, and then obviously the fact that Athletes of Christ have kind of taken the night off essentially has really just kind of opened that up for everybody, and in a way, New Gen All Stars kind of down there as well. I think we expected a lot from them, and what it takes, not really delivering in a big way tonight either. Rent Free hasn't really delivered, so it's definitely opened up a lot of doors for teams that were a little bit further down the leaderboard to try to make a run.
Yeah, and is there any team that you have your eyes on going into this one that aren't the likes of a Last Breath or a Duel? Like, is there any team in and around any cusp lines that you think that could make a move on this final map of the day?
Oh boy, you putting me on the spot with that one. I Am Bolivia, I think, started off the day so well on Erangel and then just kind of disappeared for the next 3 maps. So it'd be really nice to see if they can put something together here and kind of continue the run that they had started earlier today.
I'm going to say no way, right? Because they're one of the teams that are on the border. I remember was that they needed to get to around 100 points today if they wanted to get into day one. And I think they've put themselves in a really good spot, right? They're probably 5-10 points away. Oh, it's one of those circles, Parl. This is an
not what you want to see.
You know what this is? This is an IGL circle.
Well, you know what's going to make it interesting though is that since it is match 5, there are some teams with not a lot on the line, or with an awful lot on the line, that really need points, that are going to be fighting early. So it's going to open up some more space to play around this zone depending on where you decide to go. As Dream 1, we saw what happened to them last time they were in C block. Now they've got 3 teams to fight around here. Yeah,
why not? I would just really like for XH to not be alone for a while. You know, am I asking?
Be nice for him, wouldn't it?
Am I asking too much for Dream 1 to maybe get a team wipe? And I think the thing is, with there being extra teams here now, like Free Rent, they know this hot drop happens. They've seen the flight path. They think that it's going to be a melee circle. They want to get involved in the hot drop because they can play spoiler kind of for maybe one of these teams as well. Dream 1 might not want to fall very early on the final map of the night, but again, it seems like what it takes, line themselves up in a really good defensive position in one building, and Dream 1 this time have seen what happened last time and have just fallen off.
You know, and good for them for doing that, because look at everywhere else on the map. You've got a 3-way fight going on in Boatyard right now. You got Caution, New Gen All Stars, and I think is that X10 that are fighting in there. You've also got a fight in Novo between No Way and I can't see who that. I think it's Overpowered.
Yeah, OP.
So we've got so many fights happening right off the drop here, and wouldn't you know it, Duel and Last Breath, they're near each other, but they're not involved in any scraps. But all these points are going off the table.
Yeah, Last Breath. like, if I'm them, I'd have a penny for their comms right now. Like, do you get to Primo? Do you take the boat? Do you go to the big island? Or you just stay in Primo and maybe wait to see what happens? It's a tough decision.
Yeah, I think you got to stay in Primo, and honestly, I don't even know if they pop the E pickup.
Oh, they're going really to the islands.
Okay, so they're gonna commit. I think I would have maybe would have stayed on the mainland and waited for C2 to pop before doing that. But we'll see how it plays out. I don't think I've seen this many hot drop fights in a game going on in so many different places of the map in ever. Like this is insane.
It's good for us though. Keeps us busy.
It's
I just hope it doesn't lead to a mid game where there's just nothing happening.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Because half the lobby's been decimated. As DNF's going to go for a swim. He's out. He's out of there. No way. They know the situation they find themselves in. I don't like this. They know where he is.
Oh, they're running. Yeah, there's only so many places he could be. They're looking through the crates for him. Yeah, DNL, I don't know. He might get away with this, but even if he does, I don't think he's going to be able to do a whole lot more for them as a solo. At least he'd be on Military Island, if nothing else. But looking at Last Breath, they did end up taking that E pickup, so we'll see where they decide to drop here. Meanwhile, that boatyard fight looks like... Oh, did they spot him? Did they spot him?
No, all I can think of is them finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That's all you can do. Yep, and we're gonna hide in this corner for a while. That is. This is where you live now. You are gonna be pruning very hard, DNL.
Now, OP, right? 18 points, very close to the 22 they need. I'm gonna ask you the most devil's advocate question I can ask you.
Oh boy.
Do they leave? Oh. Tony. Jam's gonna get that one. This is... I don't know who this is worse for. Both teams are just taking a beating in this quick few second fight.
Yeah, I mean, of all the teams to run into here, if you're rent free, it has to be Athletes of Christ. Like today just has not really gone their way. Jam gets out, tries to make the spray, but he is you gotta imagine he's not much longer for this world. Haven doing his best there, just collapsing down, trying to find him through the Molotovs as Jam hasn't even had time to stop down to heal. Will just spray through the door. Haven's gonna throw the grenade. It's not gonna hit him. Jam, yeah, you're done. So goodbye, sir. Rent free, going down in 16th place.
Yeah, and back to the question I was asking was, like, do OP, like, oh, they're actually still fighting DNL. He's trying to get away on a boat and they're firing towards him. But I was like, do you try to get this kill? Do you camp the revive station and maybe try to get that extra kill later? Or with you being so close to the cutoff, do you take advantage of the fact that you still have a good pathing into the circle and just get in and try play for the late game?
I think you play for the late game. Like you've already got your points. You got the points off of this. You saw the man run away. That's fine. You're already on Military Island. You've got a free path in on that eastern side. Just try to get better position. Play from the edge for sure, and maybe keep a weather eye down over towards Novo just in case. But I think you just kind of keep playing your game at this point.
And that's good for No Way, because if you're smart and if you think that's what they're going to do, DNL comes back to Novo in phase 2 and brings his teammate back, right? Like it's what you'd expect. It's what I would do anyway. Now, bear in mind, there's probably a reason why I do what I do rather than do what they do.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
I could end up playing for Team Ireland at the end, see if we can't get more players. From what I've heard, pickings are a bit slim, and if there's any Irish PUBG players watching right now, please reach out to our Irish team manager.
Get in his DMs immediately. Ireland needs your help.
Well, Paul, you said that if push comes to shove, you and I could both play.
Yeah, I'd have to fast track that dual citizenship, but we can get there by November, I think. Who knows? I don't think. All I'm saying is I don't like Ireland's odds if I'm on the team.
Yeah. The most Irish surname ever, Navarro. Mike Navarro, Team Ireland.
Yeah. Oh well, if I'll put the family name on the back of the jersey for that one. You have a nice Michael Brennan in there.
Oh, that's a great Irish surname. Yeah. So
I know,
Me, Paro, just too many other players. We'll see you at ENC. Pest Control, they're rotating in here. K-Mine will more than likely be there. You'd expect him to be representing Team Canada as they work their way in. And I love the spot, right? You and I, over the course of the last few years, how many teams have you seen their tournament make or break based on what happens in this corner of Millie Island?
Oh, so many. And then the updates to Sosnovka Island, that location, boy. Cool. Do kickflip next time. Oh no, you fell down. What are you doing? They're actually gonna push onto Iro. Oh no, Iro was ready for it. No, Pentalo gonna get him too. As Duel, everything is just working out in their favor right now.
How, like, have you seen the way the Datsy is sitting right now too, by the way? As looks like Dream 1 have kept their team in. Oh! Henry gets the knock on to Lippy, and that's going to be a good opportunity for HP to get on the move as well. They desperately need, remember we said they need a win in this map if they want a chance of making it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Oro, I don't know if it's going to come. Like, they're in a good spot.
They're in a great spot.
I like the compound they're in, but the problem is a lot of other teams are going to like that.
Well, it's not even so much that, is it's not a points compound, is it? Like, people can avoid that pretty easily in the early and mid game, and you know it's basically a compound that you take that you try to play for late, and that circle it could be worse, could be better, could be a lot worse though.
Paro, how much worse could the circle get than that? It could roll one small rotation to the left. That's all it could be to be worse than what it is.
It could have still had the Western Bridge in it. Like, it could have still been 50-50. Well, AFI, they're trying to do their most by camping on that Western Bridge and get absolutely nothing for their trouble as the duo from New Gen All-Stars are able to breeze on through. And Duel hears those shots and says, you know what? We'll just go on over to Primorsk.
Yeah, and I think that's the right thing to do. Hopefully there might be a boat there that you're going to use to get in. What it takes, they're going to do some real damage on the Athletes of Christ, getting Tony down and out now as well, as they will climb that leaderboard just a little bit more. Remember, for them, I think at this point they're playing for the extra few dollars that they can get by climbing a little higher inside that top 6 as Lucid keeps holding on just the northern part of the C spot. But Poro, for people watching at home, X10, they're still rotating through Pachinki now. You've still got Caution Chef Jean Gardeau. He is a little bit further north in Boatyard after all those bodies we saw drop later. And it looks like Horseplay have extended out from their compound just a little bit here, Poro, to bring the fight to Dream 1.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And the only thing I don't like about it is that there's Tyson and Flashy are up front, and the other two guys are trailing so far behind. So Tyson will open up things, get that knock on a VPS, and that'll start it up as X4 will go prone. Flashy been spotted out though. Yeah, Horseplay needs to be really quick about their decision making here. Do they want to push this or do they not? It looks like they're going to go ahead and retreat off of getting that knock, as they have now noticed that FN is pushing in. Yeah, you see Tyson just staring daggers over in that direction.
Henry probably screamed at his teammates like, get back, we need you in the compound, we need you here. And that's exactly what Horseplay are going to do. E-pickup, by the way, it looks like that is OP that called that one in from the edge of the circle. XH is spotted out. Flashy in the open. Flashy going to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge that wrench, but will manage to get out of there with his head still intact.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on their other trailing duo to kind of defend them as they run back down towards the compound. But yeah, you see that circle, you gotta imagine that eventually it's going to shift away from the water and it's going to come over there. That compound is so strong. So the pushing up the hill is extremely aggressive on the part of Horseplay, and looks like they'll manage to get away with it right now, but that could have gone really, really wrong really quickly.
Yeah, I am Bolivia, currently sitting on 0 kills on the map, but looking in a good spot for the playoffs. Of course, 19 points to go with the 15 they had already. They find themselves in the blue now with a bit of a trip in, and it's going to be a perilous one with that bridging spot. And Zito is going to delete Bragagnolo as he is going to fall, and what it takes will close that gap.
Yeah, what it takes. Just trying to finish off what's left of Caution. Not sure where's the other Caution players. I'm not sure if they just out altogether. Are they done? No, there's still 2 alive. I just don't know where they are. They're eating blue. Okay, there they are. They're in pink. For some reason, they're in the south side of military base, looking to avoid what it takes, as the shift will go away from Horseplay's compound. So that is actually going to be great news for Last Breath. But look at that, just south of them playing the cliffs is Duel.
Yeah, it's a great shift for Last Breath, and at the minute they're finding themselves 6 points from the edge, and they're probably thinking, Power, maybe 6 points ain't so far away. I'm not sorry for that terrible Creed pun. Deal with it.
Oh dear, we're doing Creed again. What, are you gonna hit me with some topical Nickelback here next time? I'm not sure what to expect next from you. I'm glad.
Haven't they dropped a new album?
Look, I'm glad. No, that was an album that actually came out in 1998. It's just now dropping in Ireland for the first time. That's what happened there.
Can't wait to hear their new song.
Their new single. What's With Arms Wide Open.
Can't wait to play that whenever it comes out on or on tape.
Okay.
Oh no,
XH. That's gonna be it for him. Yeah, Leapy in prison still on the high ground, and unfortunately one just getting picked apart one by one. And Horseplay, this is actually great for them. Like, they could have been in a bad spot trying to push out of that compound, especially with what it takes, kind of making their way out of military base, but they get away with it for the time being. But now you see FN's got an angle and they're shooting up here. It's going to force Horseplay's hand. They've got to make this push now.
Yeah, they're making their way on up, and it leaves Lippy as the last player stand up. Yeah, Poro, I am also confused. Takes down his teammate, he's taken down himself. Horseplay will secure the compound for now, but you'd imagine that what it takes will not be far behind. Poro, this is a really bad circle. I actually think this is a really bad circle for Last Breath now, when you consider how much traffic sort of pushes away.
No.
At least Duel only have to look one way.
Yeah, HP wasn't ready for the push for what it takes, and they're going to suffer for it. And meanwhile, X10 does take a loss there. They still got 3 alive. Duel is collapsing on top of them, though, so we've got multiple fights going on here. Sneak Attack has managed to make his way inside the building. Flashy looking over there in that direction. Penry as well. And oh no, Sneak Attack gets caught looking at the wrong spot. Flashy will take advantage. Lid Maxing takes down Morans, and that is going to be it for what it takes. So all things considered, Horseplay, they got taken by surprise there, and they end up only losing 1.
13 points now, but remember, their only chance of survival in the tournament is a victory in this map. X10, they are in the middle of this duel split now, and if I am... Oh, that's a great spray from Penta. Very's in a lot of trouble now, and that should be one more point for Duel in a few moments' time. Oh, Ducky actually is going to do some damage onto the rest of I Am Bolivia, and that's on the other edge of the bridge. Poro, circle shifts, and it's a HP NA circle, and now Duel. Maybe things aren't looking as rosy as I first thought for them now with the circle shift we've been given.
It's not, but the problem is all they got to do is collect these points. If they can collect some points here, they're still going to play the cliffside. And look at that. Athletes of Christ managed to get all 3 players back in the lobby. Not sure where they're going to go, but they're back in, at least for the time being. We'll see what happens. Duel trying to see if they can collect a few more off of X10.
Did you see what happened to one Athletes of Christ player with a gun, though, Paro?
Ah, yes. He died.
He died. So,
but he stayed alive long enough to get his teammates back in. So a courageous, one might say his sacrifice. Okay, I'm not doing the Creed jokes. I'm not doing the Creed jokes anymore. You started this. This is the world you chose.
The real question is, who called the airdrop of some 3 points? Because that's basically what Fan is going to do. Caution are going to get eliminated as Last Breath will manage to get 1 point on the board, closing that gap. It is back to 5 points now, as they're just behind. But remember, Duel have X10 in their sights. The thing for Duel is, though, with them being so split, look where I've just looked. Fan has gone to the ocean.
Why not? Just swimming in from the cliffs. See what happens. Maybe you'll get lucky.
Find a crate. It's just somebody died here earlier.
Exactly. Maybe you get lucky. Anyway, 4-0. They're in the midst of a fight here with Overpowered, as GMO gonna get taken down. by the grenade from Zello and Penry combining here. Murillo, nice spray for the first one. Won't get the second one, though, as Lucas will finish him off. But Lucas going to go down now to Lyle. So a big fight going here, getting third-partied here by Conf and Pest Control boys.
Yeah, this ain't really good, but overpowered. They need the points. Remember, they're not close by, but that'll be a good knock from Sweezy on to Fully, and that leaves just one player up. And will that one player be able to do anything? It's Repo on the other edge of this nade that's been thrown this way as we watch Pest Control rotate by, and I Am Bolivia fall. It's another kill on the board for Last Breath. Sweezy keeps on peeking, Sweet's on dipping, and it's going to fall for nothing or eliminated, and Repo picks up the kill, and the race to res is on.
That was a great effort there from Sweezy, but Repo coming out on top of that 1v1, the peak battle. We'll see if he can actually get these reses off, as Pest Control, they looked like they were interested, but then they retreat back to their previous position. So Repo might be able to get his squad back up to 3 strong. As you see Penry, he's just going to bleed out. I think he was left on the high ground to kind of give direction there to Horseplay, but Horseplay running into AFI down to lib maxing. So the new circle does pop, and now Duel, finally X10 has to move, and Duel will make short work of them. They do lose Penta in the process, though, but 6 kills already. And now, actually, looks like Left Behind might be starting to creep over in this area.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for Duel is a lot of those players that fell.
Left Behind.
Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of those kills there now against X10 went to the blue. It wasn't actually Duel that picked them up. I think they only got 2 of the 4. So it means that gap hasn't actually increased by all that much. Now, Last Breath, they've got... This is basically the decision time. Where do they go? The blue's going to come soon. They're going to smoke off the US and get ready to go. But well, I think the compound at NA is probably their best bet.
Yeah, and they know where Duel is, right? Like they've heard they've heard the shots, they've seen the kill feed, so they should have a pretty good idea that Duel is playing from the cliffs. How much more information they have, because that's the problem with that compound, right? Is that if anything goes south, you really don't have any good intel about what's going on outside of there. So we'll see what they decide to do. Is it looks like they've got that emergency cover. It looks like they're just planning on playing from the edge and just being slow with it, not trying to over push, and I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of been what they've done all night, right? They've not been a pedal to the metal team. They've been playing for late games. They've been picking up the kills that they're supposed to pick up. The only problem with, I suppose, dropping down those Doritos is the fact that you're signaling to the rest of the lobby that this is where we're going. And you know, you were talking about how they knew where Duel is. Duel know exactly where Last Breath are as well. It looks like Duel have pushed towards, I think, where we see Pest Control, and maybe those 2 free points onto Athletes of Christ as well, because they're still alive and kicking on a rock.
Yeah, Fana, the last one left alive. He's just treading water for the time being. We'll see how much later he makes it in here. As Pest Control, they've got that big wide 2-2 split. So Joshy and K-Mine are keeping eyes uphill, while Hot and Spicy and Conf are keeping eyes on Duel. So Pest Control influencing a lot of pressure over this lobby as Last Breath. They've got to make a push somewhere, and they're going to go for the rock, it seems. It's a really dangerous proposition trying to push into that new gen All-Stars compound, right? Because A, I don't know if they have information about how many people are in it, and B, if they do go in there, they do know that AFI is on the high ground and it could third party them the whole time. So they don't want to make that push unless they are absolutely certain that they're going to be able to win quickly and get back into that hard cover.
I think the problem is if you take that compound and it leaves the circle, it's kind of a worse situation. So I like what they're doing. Duel, this is a big fight. Pest K-Mine's actually going to do a ton of damage, and you can see with just Kane and Iro left standing, this is a big fight for Kane. Conf, P90 in his hands, and he's got to be sure to keep an eye on what's going on the other side of the circle too, as Iro falls at the hand of that nade. So this is huge for Last Breath.
Yeah, and Kane is nowhere near the rest of these guys. He was the trailing member, so these guys are definitely going to get flushed out. You see where Kane is. He's basically just going to be an insurance policy at this point, looking behind him and just trying to survive for a little bit longer. But he is outside of circle. He's got to make a move and get inside. Last Breath, meanwhile, they're starting to get involved in this AFI fight. They're creeping up in that direction, trying to take shots at him, and AFI might be pinned up against the wall here.
Yeah,
that's
now Last Breath.
Good smoke from Danny.
Yeah, it's a really good smoke, and it focuses on one fight too, and They'll be screaming, can you take them higher, Poro, as they look to climb that leaderboard. Just a few more points to go. DNL, big nade from No Way, though. He'll take down Arv, and that is really bad news for the side. But look at this, Affinity, a lot of problems, a lot of trouble coming their way. Danny could confirm a couple of kills. Poro, he gets a knock. This could be really big for Last Breath.
No, that's huge. He has to get the confirms onto these and has to do it quickly. Try to maybe recycle that smoke back onto to NA, because otherwise they're going to have a free farm down there. Ducky, the last player left alive. He's going to find Danny, though, and get the knock and the flush. Blazer tries to return it, but Danny able to retreat back in the cover of that hillside as Zaloti leading out. Yeah, it's most likely going to be, that's going to be the one that Finna took down. So that's not even going to be a point that Last Breath can pick up at this point. Arv, nowhere near the rest of these boys, but Affinity does go down to the blue, but that denies the point away from Last Breath. And now they're just down to a duo, and a lot of teams are looking over in their direction.
Yeah, and Duel staying alive as well with one player up is bad news bears for Last Breath, as Pest Control are in a great position to maybe take the win of this one. 4 players up. It's a 4v2, v2, v1, v1. And FE still have Fana still alive in the valley, way down in the valley. Oh, but Iga will just keep an eye. Like, I think Last Breath have got to be so careful, because you need Kian to fall. And Kian does fall just on cue, Poro. So, what, 4 points? Can they close the gap?
Oh, it's so close. It's so close. They're going to stay alive. They're going to find an angle here onto New Gen All-Stars. Get Finna really low, but can't get the knock. Ega going to have to retreat once again, as they know exactly where Last Breath is. But Last Breath do have this little car fort that they can play behind, but now Pest Control, they're starting to get active. Oh, and there goes Andrew.
Yeah, that's bad news. That's really bad. K-Mine's going to get on the rock. That'll give him a nice line of sight, but thinks it realizes that NA will have the angle if you overextend too much, but this is not good. K-Mine's got a nade. K-Mine could be about to flush Last Breath into day 2. The nade's going to fall. Is it far enough? Yes, it is. K-Mine forces Last Breath. If I'm not wrong, they'll be playing in day 2 now instead of day 1. And what a nade that was from K-Mine, but valiant effort on the day from Last Breath.
No, it was a fantastic effort for them, and really the only thing that kept them out of day 1 was the fact that Duel just showed out today in such a big way. Back-to-back wins and doing everything that they needed to do here in the final game to ensure their victory. They're finishing in that top spot. Hot and Spicy will get taken down by Finna. And Conf, we've been talking about these little spots right here are so good to play in TPP, because they're just, you're able to get so much information from around you safely.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, it gives you so much cover as well. And Fana's still alive, by the way. Just want everyone to know. So if I'm not wrong, he's been alive for what, 15 minutes now with no gun? Thereabouts?
No gun, no nothing. He's just trying to figure out how to climb up rocks at this point. Yeah, there he goes. He's doing his little hiking bit as Finna gets spotted out. That might not be it. Yeah, that's going to be it for New Gen All-Stars. And now it's just a question of how long will it take Pest Control to figure out where Fana is?
I think it's probably going to take a while, Poro, because it's, you know what? Was this how high of a tier of a salvage game is this?
Oh, okay. I believe he can do this. Come on, get up there. You got this. Come on.
You can do it. I believe.
Oh. See, maybe if you had shoes on, it'd be a little bit easier. Those rocks look really mossy, really slippery. Oh. Well, it might not come to a, I think he just gave up. He's like, you know what, screw this. I can't get up that rock. I'm just going to die to blue. Boy. Congratulations to Pest Control on their win in game number 5.
And it's nice to see the PAS Cups go out with a whimper rather than a bang, Poro. And gives the final kill over to the blue, who, I'm not going to lie, if the blue was a team, they're probably playing in the playoffs next week with the many kills we've seen over the last 5 weeks. But for all in all, I think the Cups have been a really good watch, and I think we've seen Cream rise to the top, like Athletes of Christ.
Oh yeah,
they've been the best team consistently. What It Takes have been really good, but I'm also really impressed by what I've seen from like some of the other teams with players we recognize, right? Like NA have been really good. Duel have been a really fun watch, and I think I'm happy. I'm very confident we're going to have a pretty good PAS in a 2 weeks time.
Oh yeah, I think there's definitely some teams out here that you kind of consider wild cards, right? Like you don't we don't know exactly how well they're gonna do, and when it comes to 5-game series, man, there's just so many questions about like anybody really has a shot. So if Duel comes in and has a day like they were able to put together today, like they could be making PAS final. Like it's just how the thing is set up. So it's going to be really exciting to watch for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, they're going into next week's lobby, or sorry, 2 weeks lobby and day one of the playoffs, knowing that all you got to do is be in the top half. Top 8 is enough to qualify you through to the first PAS finals. So the bar in the first week is not, or the first day is not that high. It gives you a good chance. That's what you're playing for as we look at our overall leaderboard. But for Duel, winning that guarantees, of course, that they're playing in day one of the playoffs, which they would have been anyways with their point tally. But what it does mean, Poro, is it moves everything down one spot as far as who gets to play and play day one. So a team that might not have made it, had Last Breath won, now find themselves in.
And also, I mean, look, Last Breath, that's 54 points. Like that's a pretty good amount of points. Is that enough to get them into day one all of themselves? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to see what the overall leaderboard looks like at the end of the day. But you know what? Still, congratulations to Duel. All credit goes towards them. They managed to make the weekly final every single week. There's only what, 5 teams that were able to do that, to make every single weekly final. In Athletes of Christ, Pest Control, New Gen All Stars, X10, and Duel were those 5 teams, and they all managed to make it into day one. And look at that, Last Breath,
they made it
they made it on their own without needing to win. That makes me so happy for them.
Yeah, look, they deserved it with the way they played today. So for confirmation for everybody at home, Athletes of Christ and Duel, they qualify for the first day of playoffs based on the fact they won in week 4 and week 5 of the cups. Then Pest Control, New Gen All Stars, What It Takes, X10, No Way, and Last Breath will be joining the teams from the partner teams from Global and Regionals in day one of the playoffs. And Poro, then I think from Team Fate down as far as I Am Bolivia, I think they're all playing on day 2 of the playoffs.
Yes. So that top 8 will be playing against 55, Bestia, Copenhagen Wolves, Furia, Rock Esports, Falcons, Liquid, and Toyo. And then when those 16 teams play on day 1, the top 8 from that day will qualify for the grand finals. The bottom 8 from that day will then go on to play 9 through 16 from that overall leaderboard that we just saw, including Team Fate all the way down to I Am Bolivia. And then on that day 2, the top 5 go on to the grand final. The rest of the team, the bottom 11, then are joined by our final teams, Dots, Dream One for Nothing, AKA, and Nevermind. And then the top 3 from that final day will then go to the grand final. And that is how we will make our 16 team lobby for the PAS grand final.
And then we do it all again the next week.
And then we do it all again.
Yeah,
easy for me to say, right?
Yeah. Massive congratulations to, of course, Athletes of Christ. They get $1,250 for their performance over the cups, which is, I'm going to say it, a really nice reward, Poro. Usually qualifiers don't have prize money up for grabs, so it's nice that these teams are getting some reward for putting work in the qualifiers.
Absolutely, yeah. Get a little jingle in your pocket, get you some, get you a couple of nice meals for when you get ready to play in those PAS playoffs. But all in all, across 5 weeks, what can you say? Athletes of Christ have looked fantastic. Are they going to look the same? Are they going to be able to deliver that same type of performance when it comes to getting into that PAS finals lobby? That remains to be seen, but I think they can go in there feeling pretty confident about how they're playing right now.
They're playing great. Look, last year I think they learned a lot. You either win or you learn. Last year they played the same in the cups, but whenever the big boys came to play, they couldn't quite match that level. Hopefully they'll be able to actually take a step forward and improve now as we go in towards PAS. I know they've converted a lot of viewers into fans with how they've played over the last few weeks, and I look forward to seeing them next week. But Poro, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you and Matt all the way through the cups. We'll be back in 2 weeks, of course, with the playoffs. We'll see you then. But Poro, as you're going to be back on our screens in just a few hours' time, I'm going to let you tell everybody why they should be back awake in 5 or 6 hours to watch you casting the PGS finals.
Hey, come and watch these. It's the final day of PGS 3 Grand Finals, and it is very, very close to the top. So a lot of teams still have a shot at that top spot. So you know, if you're a late night owl, if you're a degenerate like me that stays up at all hours, come and hang out with a fellow degenerate as we cast our way through this final day of PGS 3.
See you then. Good night, everyone.